week in a row, or are we just driving forward?
I would assume that people
Good evening, and thank you once again for joining us here at the Guardtower studio as we continue to test the capabilities here and explore the doomed city of Granitegard. Tonight, specifically, we're looking to test out our audio adjustments. Hopefully, you're going to find that you can hear us a lot better than in the past couple episodes. So let's definitely get on the chat and let us know how we're doing. Your feedback is certainly important. And on that note there, we want to take a few moments here and say thank you, dear viewer, for your continued patience and support as we hope to correct our mistakes and strive to improve the quality of the show. So thank you very much for sticking with us on that. And if you're new to the stream, we ask that you join us on the Discord server or any of our other social media platforms. You can find all of those at Linktree, so it's one word, Linktree/DCOG. And there you can find our Discord, TikTok, Instagram, as well as links to the Guardtower's Twitch and their YouTube channels. Tonight we're going to be featuring, again, minis by Chris Wolfgang at the Glittering Cave Studios and terrain elements by Chris Fields. Our maps are brought to us by the Guardtower. Tonight we're using Warlock tiles, which are a very versatile and easy system. Interlocks, it makes it a snap to take your ideas and turn them into actual three-dimensional maps. You can pick up Warlock tiles at the Guardtower, any of the main packs and expansion packs that they offer. And now with that out of the way, who's ready to throw some dice tonight?
Yeah!
All right, I guess let's go ahead and roll our intro so we can get into things.
Once the seat of economic and political power in the Northern Territories, the city of Granitegard fell in one catastrophic moment of terror and bloodshed. In the quiet hours of the night, the massive granite mesa that served as the city's namesake exploded violently, the debris reducing entire swaths of the city to ruin. Before the inhabitants could even comprehend what had happened, they were blindsided by an army of monstrosities surging from the sewers and into the city streets. The militia valiantly attempted to protect the fleeing citizens, but their efforts were futile against the overwhelming tide of bloodthirsty creatures. And in the midst of the chaos, the city gates slammed shut. turning Granitegard into a death trap for anyone that remained behind the high, fortified walls that had been meant to protect them. For over a decade, it has stood as silent as a tomb, and shrouded in a perpetual mist. No one has entered, and nothing human has ever come out. That is, until now. 12 years to the day since the fall of Granitegard, the Trader's Gate has opened. The news has spread like wildfire across the human crescent. And like a siren's call, fortune hunters from far and wide have been drawn by the possibility of untold riches lying just inside the city walls. Daring the foolish and the brave to risk it all at a chance of wealth beyond their wildest dreams. It has also stirred the interest of old rivals. With no one from the original bloodline to claim the mantle of leadership of Granitegard, plans are forming in the dark. Powerful forces seek to play their games of state, as the lives of everyone in the north hangs in the balance. And in the midst of this all, 6 strangers have been drawn to Granitegard by something other than riches or power. Their destiny is tied to the events surrounding the fall of the city. Each of them must confront the past in order to find a way forward. Each of them must search for answers in the doomed city of Granitegard.
And we're back. So we'll begin with a recap from our first 2 episodes. The gates of let's try that one more time. Let's recap that. The gates of Granitegard have opened for the first time since the mysterious calamity that befell the city 12 years ago, drawing the eyes of everyone from across the human crescent. On the Trader's Road, 6 strangers encountered the enigmatic Versailles Rex and accepted his offer to meet in Newtown to hear out a business proposition. Located just a few miles from the ruins of Granitegard, Newtown has become a bustling community since the gates opened. And at the Tavern of the Red Valerian Inn, the party accepted Versailles' offer and celebrated with a night of food and drink. The next morning, after a hearty breakfast, and taking a moment to plant evidence to ruin the career of Newtown's tax collector, they prepared to begin their investigation of Granitegard. Outside of the inn, a desperate mother was begging in the streets for someone, anyone, to help rescue her daughter, taken in the night by terrible monstrosities. After outfitting themselves, our party set off in search of the child. Tracking the raiders from the small commune where the calamity happened, the party was led into the ruins of the Shambles, which was an urban sprawl outside of the gates of Granitegard. The constant beating rain has left the party drained and disoriented, causing them to spend hours wandering aimlessly. Finally, they stumbled into a street that was closed off by a massive pile of rubble at the end. Spotting a shield that they had recognized from a patron they saw at the Red Valerian Inn, Vaughn moved towards the debris pile in an attempt to provide aid to someone that was desperately moaning from within. However, rising from the pile of rubble, the collector has sprung his trap. And so we begin with roll for initiative.
Baby's first combat.
All right. Babies. Okay, so Reverend, what did you roll, sir?
15.
15. All right. So we're going to move next. Damon.
19.
19. All right. And we move next to Echo.
13.
13. Moving down the line, we're going to look at Anna.
4.
4. All right. Well done on that. And Mary?
12.
12. Okay. And last but not least,
You
Vaughn.
want these low, correct? For a 6.
It's kind of like golf. Yes, exactly.
I've marvelous score at 6.
A marvelous score at 6. Okay.
Take some advice on my stroke.
Marie, you had what again?
12.
Yeah, you had a 12. All right. Well, that takes care of that. So the first round is going to be up to Damon. Damon, what action are you going to take here?
Okay. I'm gonna run forward, not where Vaughn, you ran up, right? Not to where Vaughn is, but a little bit behind him to see what we're looking at.
All right. So you're going to spend your full 30 moving forward?
Yeah.
All right. You dash through the rain, water splattering as you trek up to the front, and you see this monstrosity that has risen up from there. And again, looking before, it appears to be covered in debris, almost like it's wearing an armor. Behind it, you can see kind of at a little, like chinks where the armor sits, there's like green, blotchy skin underneath there where there are gaps in the armor. The face you can definitely make out. It is this nasty, vile-looking face with huge, vicious teeth. And you can see the wicked clawed hands that are reaching out right now, kind of towards Vaughn. It has not made a motion forward at this particular moment. Again, it just rose up, made that sniffing sound, and then here we are.
I would like to hold my action until we're able to like determine what else it's doing. So until it makes its movement.
Okay. So if it closes within the 30 feet of you, you're going to attack. I'm assuming so at this point.
Probably about like the 10 feet of Vaughn, 5 to 10 feet. The closer it gets to him.
Okay. So moving next is the collector itself. The collector is going to advance directly up to Vaughn and close the gap. And it is going to reach out in an attempt to grapple because it's hungry. And you look quite tasty there, Mr. Manflesh.
I think it's a compliment.
Yes, so that is going to give it a 14 to grapple. And unfortunately, that does not get what it needs to do. So as it reaches out with those claws, you see it come in, and you kind of step back, and it just misses you as it reaches down and tries to get a snap. Not satisfied with this, now it's going to give you a good punch, because it could have made it nice and easy, but now you've made it upset. So we're going to get, that is going to be a 19. That does connect, and that is going to be 7 points of damage.
Noted.
So, gives you a hit, just ooh, takes the wind out of you. It is a massive fist, but you're happy that it didn't decide to give you a claw on that there. Moving next down the line, we've got the Reverend Goodberries.
I want to run up to just behind Damon.
That gives you 20 feet of motion.
Then as I get there, I'll whisper, yell at Vaughn. Vaughn, you have the inspiration of the one God. Use it, my friend.
Thank you.
As the wind's knocked out of you, you can kind of feel this tingling sensation flow over you, like, feels your lungs kind of open back up again, and you feel like very, very, very vigorous at this moment in time. Moving down the line, Echo.
That was my bonus action.
That was a bonus action, all
For my
right.
action, I reach in my coat, grab a bottle, and I chuck it at the collector. As it shatters, it will hopefully bathe the terrible beast in a fey aura.
Oh, get up.
That will be a dexterity saving throw, my friend.
So that is going to be a total of an 8.
That is a fail.
All right. So
So
it's
it will now be bathed in an ethereal green light, lighting the way for us to vanquish it.
It does match its skin, so that's quite nice. All right, I do apologize. Now, Echo, you are next in our lineup.
Yeah, I'll just dart forward as far as I can go, 30 feet, and I'll look at the Reverend and go, nice throw, and pull off my longbow, knock an arrow, and just go, Vaughn, we should maybe keep our distance, and let loose.
Good idea.
And I will use Hunter's Focus for this, marking this creature.
All right.
That is a 14 to hit.
14. As you're running up there, the rain's dropping down, firing off the arrow. It hits, but unfortunately, given the armor that this thing is wearing, actually, armor is probably not the right thing, the debris that it has, the arrow wedges into it, but doesn't really do any damage as it sticks in one of the barrels. So it made contact, but unfortunately, it didn't do a whole lot to it. Are there any actions you have, any bonus actions?
No, that's it.
All right. We're going to move down the line, and that comes to Mary.
So Mary's kind of freaking out. This is the first time she's ever seen anything really like this in person. Freaks out and runs up about 15 feet to where those two are, kind of as a reaction, and then stops. And I survey and just look around. I look at my friends, and I look at the environment. Is there anything I see that might just catch my attention?
Go ahead and make a perception. D20, yes, ma'am.
Ooh, 20.
Oh, well, yes. Well, I don't think you need to look a whole lot further. What you notice is that the arrow that Echo fired into the collector, which struck the stuff hanging from his chest, there's a barrel that it struck. And as the arrow is kind of wedged into it, you notice this black kind of fluid leaking out of the barrel. And again, there's several of the same exact barrel on this creature's chest. What the black fluid might possibly be, you're not quite sure, but it definitely is oozing out, looking quite tarry and nasty.
So it looks more like a physical kind of substance rather than magical.
Oh, it's definitely not, well, I mean, I guess if you drank it, it might be magical. But, it's got the 3 X's, so it might be a little bit dangerous. But yes, it's definitely very physical. It's not anything magical. It looks like a barrel, whatever it is oozing out. And that is your...
So I can still cast, so I'm going to hold off and kind of process that while I let my friends finish their...
Okay. So you're holding your action for what? I need a trigger.
Until they do something? Can I do it at the end?
Well, you've already moved forward, so you've already begun engaging. So if you're going to hold an attack or something, waiting. Okay, what attack?
If our friend tries to attack any of us,
Okay.
or hits Vaughn again, or anyone in his range.
If you're in range for the attack, yes, we can move. We can
Okay.
move it. No problem. We got a trigger. No problem. Moving down the line, and we jump back over to Vaughn. What is your action, sir? You've been struck.
Take a deep
All of a
breath
sudden, you're
first.
invigorated.
First things first, finally, thinking that we had more time, I reached down to my rapier, and I'm going to use my bonus action to activate my rights. As I pull this out, you notice that there's some of the, look like they're damaged chinks and cracks going along the blade, the rapier itself, and they're beginning to look almost like rusty. And I'm going to use my action to go ahead and disengage and take just about 15 steps back and in a slight angle, spreading out so we're not all clumped up.
All right, disengaging from combat.
Calls over. Good idea. I'll regroup if we can. And movement, bonus action, I'm going to keep that, and that's going to be it for me.
All right. And moving last, Anna.
Okay. How far away can I get there with 30 feet of movement?
30 feet of movement will bring you close, but not exactly into reach, unfortunately.
Okay. I guess I will move up in front of is that the Reverend Goodberries?
That'd be Damon, I believe you'll be right in front of.
Okay, I'll step to between Damon and the pole if I can get there with my movement. If I can't, I'll stand between to the other side so I'm not totally blocking.
You can do a dash and close the distance, but you would not be able to attack, which...
I'll just get as close as I can this turn.
All right, so you want to just do 30 feet and hold?
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
You like, what, Echo? Get close! Yeah.
All right. Moving this back around to anything else you're doing right now? That's it?
I think that's it for right now. Yeah.
Okay, moving us back around to the top, we're going to go back to Damon. Damon, at this point, you see Vaughn has disengaged and pulled himself away. Mary has pointed out the arrow that Echo launched into the barrel and the leaking. You've got Anna, it's meat shielded up in front of you there, and everybody else has got your back at this point.
I literally have your back. I'm hiding behind you.
I want to just move a little so that Anna is not in front of me. So either way.
Sidestep?
Yep. And then I'm going to throw one of my daggers at one of the barrels on his chest. Specifically near the one that Echo had hit already.
All right. So that is a lower AC on that then. So higher threshold for you to hit.
23.
Well, I would say that makes excellent contact with it. All right. So Damon steps back and he throws his dagger with all of the strength, and the daggers tumble, splashing through the rain. As it strikes the barrel, it hits. You see the boards give way as the dagger kind of disappears almost inside of the barrel itself, and just the black ichor just begins draining down. Very thick, heavy fluid as it just rains all down the front of the collector, who roars in just pure unadulterated anger. Oh, it's mine! And seems very upset with Damon at this moment in time. And that is the collector's turn. It is going to...
You had advantage. Should you have a sneak attack?
No.
Oh. Sorry.
No problem. But again, he did tremendous damage there. Well, the collector at this point is upset. Is there anything else you're doing Any other actions that you have?
Would I be able to take a bonus action to hide?
Absolutely, you would be able to. Go ahead and roll your hide.
Is that stealth?
Yes.
I got you.
Ooh,
All right.
27.
27. All right.
there's no one there.
So as the collector goes, "Arr," looks up all in anger, and as he looks back down, unfortunately the ire, his focus of his ire is now gone. Where did you dip behind?
Oh no.
Would I be,
You can dip behind Anna, you can dip behind the Reverend.
yeah, I'll go behind Vaughn.
You're going to dip over behind Vaughn? All right.
Wise decision, my friend.
And the collector now does not have a focus for his ire. He's really destroyed his beautiful barrel. So he's going to pick somebody up front there, and he looks like he's just going to basically charge straight forward and try to run Anna completely over. So charging attack, and that is going to be a 15, which does not beat your armor. Anna, as he charges towards you there, you kind of sidestep just at that last second. As he's going to be directly parallel to her, so just past her right there. He pivots back around. Yes.
So
Now his back turns towards you at this point as he faces Anna, and that leaves you open to your action.
yeah, so with my reaction with Guardian, I'm going to, as he charges Anna, I'm going to drop my bow, pull out my Kopesh, and just go for a slashing attack at his leg.
Go for it.
So, and this is with advantage. The ankles. Better. 22 to hit.
22 would definitely do damage.
That'll be 15 slashing damage.
Ooh-wee.
15, fantastic. All right, as the creature charges past and he pivots around because he missed where Anna was, as you drop your bow, blade comes out, and in one fluid motion, you bring the slash across the back of his leg. It finds that gap in between where the barrels are and where his ankle kind of sits and rakes right across the meat. It looks back at you for a second, but then it turns around back towards Anna. So it took the damage there, and it is going to attempt to grapple Anna. And I just cannot get the dice rolling in my direction this evening, so that is a 9. Because of the slash, he's like, kind of like favors down that leg, and as he reaches over, I mean, he just right over the top of your head. You didn't have to dodge. Looks like Echo set you up for that. It is now over to the Reverend Goodberries at this moment.
With my knowledge of all manner of potions and cure-alls, can I determine what is the substance pouring from this creature?
Yes, go ahead and let's give it that let's give that a history check.
Ooh, well, that's a 3.
3.
So it's a 4.
It's a 4. It is goop.
All right.
It's goopy and tarry and black.
Well, then, may I still attack them in that case?
Absolutely. You're like, I'm not sure what that is.
Well, I'm going to move further away from it, possibly
Forward, backward, left, right.
backwards towards my good friend there. Yeah, that's fine.
So just 5 feet back. All right. As you kind of backpedal there, staring at the stuff as you're looking, like, oh, what is that?
And I yell at it. You got a barrel on your head, but I presume you have a face only your mother could love. I cast taunt. You must make a wisdom save.
All right. So that is going to give me a total of an 18.
That is a pass.
All right. So Reverend Goodberries throws some insults at the collector. The collector doesn't even seem to notice at this point. He's much more focused on the fact that there's this gash on his leg. And we move over to Echo at this point.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of just like ring around him back so that I'm interposing between myself and Reverend, so without leaving his combat range.
Okay.
And then just focusing that weak leg, I'm going to go for another slash.
Okay, you'd be at the leg that would not be weakened at this
Can
point.
I hit it and then move?
You can hit it as you race around. That's
All right.
perfectly fine.
Too many dice. That's a 17 to hit.
17. All right. That is going to strike the armor. Do damage to it. Go ahead.
Oh,
That'll be 16 slashing damage.
16 slashing damage. As you come racing around, you smash the back of the box that basically protects most of the meat of the leg, and it just basically blows out the back end of the box, and the rest of it falls forward off of the leg, leaving the entire lower portion of the leg exposed at this point. So
I'll just say to Anna,
you can see the big blotchy, nasty-looking skin. It's hairy. It's ugly. It's not a beach party. All right. Echo, that is the last of your actions, I believe.
yes.
All right. We're going to move on down to Mary.
So Mary's starting to gather her brain after seeing everything that she just took in and her new friends getting injured, but seeing kind of their successes, and she begins to like channel and tries to focus and has belief that they can do it, but still needs to ask God for a favor. So she's there kind of panicking, kind of praying. And I look to the group members who are closest and in battle, which I believe is Anna, Echo, and Percy? Or Damon.
At this point, it's going to be Echo and Anna are the ones directly in combat range.
Okay. And I'm going to pray to my God to protect you guys. You're in the throes of it. I've seen you do nothing but good and take this down, and I just want you to do it without any more hits, any more damage from anyone. And so that's a concentration.
Okay. And what are you concentrating on? Which ability?
Do I roll for it?
No. What was the name of it?
Oh, Blessing of the One God.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So
You and I are
basically,
close.
no problem.
I can
Just
only
checking to
think
see what's
about
going
his
on. That you're dropping a blessing now. Okay, no problem. That's good stuff for you all there. All right. So, moving forward, are there any other actions that you're taking this round? You're just
focusing
dropping
on that
them?
prayer.
All right. Very good. And next we move over to Vaughn.
I immediately, first thing, a hand goes up to their left eye, and as it kind of comes down, you might be able to notice that scar that has been covering there looks to be just a smidge more pronounced, almost as if it itself is kind of bleeding. Certainly not where they've been punched. Throws their hand down. Do I clock and notice and recognize what that fluid is coming off of?
You'll give me a perception check to see if you recognize that. Yeah.
My favorite.
Ooh, that'd be dirty 20.
Dirty 20, nice. The fluid itself looks to be some really, really old possible alcohol. It is definitely highly potent at this point. The nasty goopiness that's dripping down seems to be coating him in this tarry, nasty substance.
Amazing. I clock that immediately. I'm going to go ahead and take my full 30, and I'm going to go closer to the debris pile at an angle, so I am further away from our fights and our party here. And as I am running, I'll call out to you all. The fool's covered in some type of old alcohol.
Pivot him around.
Step away, and you see that he kind of goes
pivot
and
him
begins
around
to
so he
cock
can see.
his crossbow. It's likely flammable. Step back.
I can't.
All right.
I will hold. Unless was that my action for the perception?
Well, that plus your run over there, you can pull the weapon out and cock it, but you'll basically be holding at this point until your turn comes up.
Holding it until everyone's clear.
All right.
A proposed 15-foot blast.
Next, we have Anna on the chopping block there.
Yeah, right. Okay, Anna's gonna look over at Vaughn and put down the maul, and I would like to turn and run and try and pick up Echo and carry him out of range.
All right.
Yeah.
Echo, are you going to resist?
No,
Okay.
I'm lightweight
Great.
for a reason.
Go ahead and give me a grapple on that.
All right.
We're going to go one or two
Is this
ways.
can I add my blessing of the one god to this?
It's attacker saving throw.
Yep, that would be an attack.
All right, please.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
like making
God,
myself
It's
back.
a strength check or okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No.
What's your-
Sweet. So it's a strength throw, not like an okay, tight. Great. That is a total of 12.
12.
Yeah.
All right. Not all that terribly graceful, but you kind of more or less body block him rather than pick him up.
Yeah.
Which is okay. It's accomplishing the same thing. He's kind of plastered on the front of you as you're carrying him along. You're forward 30 feet. Go ahead and push them both forward 30 feet. Echo's kind of like, oof, as you hit him and kind of drive him out of the way there. And that brings us back to the top of the round. Damon, what are you doing at this moment?
So I want to move back about 15 feet.
All right.
And then, how many barrels are on his chest?
There looks to be about a half a dozen barrels on him. 2 of them are definitely broken and leaking. The other ones seem to be intact at this point.
I want to take another I'm gonna reach behind me under my jacket and take out another dagger, and I would like to throw it at another barrel to break it.
All right.
No, that was a 1.
Oh, fantastic. It goes wide and lands somewhere across the street, probably buried, sticking in one of the houses on the other side of the street. So, yep, they're bringing things like that. There's lots of motion going on. Sometimes it just happens like that. All right, the collector is very upset at this point. Turns over, and the next available target close enough to its ire would be a very flashy suit. So it is going to move forward to the flashy suit. It is going to attempt to grapple, and that would be an 18, which...
Is that an attack?
Yes, that's an 18 attack.
As it attempts to grapple me, I raise my hand up with holding one of my trinkets, and a shield, the armor of God, appears, blocking it.
As the collector reaches forward, you see Reverend raise up the little trinket, and he's like, "In the name of the one God!" I can't do that exactly right. Sorry, home audience. Yes. But the collector reaches down and like bounces his hands right off of that shield, like, and then very confused for a moment, like trying to figure that one out. It was like, "One God, this," and rings over and tries to kind of pummel over the top of that. With a 21, which I do believe tops that. And go ahead and make a Constitution check for me.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. 7.
All right, you are knocked to your knees and take 7 points of damage from the pummel attack. But you're not, broken or anything else like that. You're just like, oh, as this giant, nasty, gnarly hand reaches over the top and smashes you straight on down, like, oh, knocks you down to your knees. Looking up at the creature in front of you, it seems to be smiling like,
a little help here.
And it is now the Reverend's turn.
So,
no, he's kneeling.
I'm down on the ground. Also, I believe I'll have to roll to see if I maintain concentration on Fey
Yes.
Aura. Oh, 17.
I do believe that would keep you up and rolling, correct? All right.
Seems that may be my lucky day after all.
It still continues to glow. Again, not knocked prone, you were just dropped down to a knee. So
I stand up.
And up you come. And where are you going?
I produce my rapier.
Oh my.
The rapier is imbued with thunderous energy. And I say, "I'll smite you in the name of the one God." And as I'm doing it, I look over at you and I give you a wink.
One God loves all.
That is a 25.
Wow.
It was the
Okay,
wink.
now I believe that also knocks the target backward, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's going to take the damage, 8 damage. But if he moves, now he is bathed in thunder energy, and if he moves, he will take additional damage.
All right.
And then after that, I'll run as far away as I can.
You can move 20 feet.
And as I'm doing it, I yell behind me to Anna, "You have the smiting from here. Take the Lord's blessing." And I'll give you my inspiration.
All right. So Reverend pops back up off his knee there, gives the thing that nasty little smack with his rapier, then just backpedals 20 feet as far as he can possibly go. Meanwhile, giving Anna's the blessing. So moving back around, we now have Echo, who has been moved forcefully by Anna.
I'm good.
Nice.
And I'll drop out of her arms. And can I equip my bow in the same action? Or?
Unfortunately, it's laying on the ground where you
right.
dropped it to fast pull your rapier.
Then
Not rapier, your khopesh.
I am going to shift to the left so that I'm blocking line of sight with the Reverend. So just like
Take your
10
motion
feet.
to stand between the Reverend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the dodge action to be a little extra tanky.
Oh, excellent.
And that's all we'll do.
All right. So holding your action there should have closed the gap. correct?
No, I'm using my action to dodge, so
Okay.
disadvantage if it tries to hit me.
Roger that. All right. Moving down the list, we have Mary.
So I'm a little close, too close for comfort there. So I'm going to go ahead and move back pretty much where the Reverend is,
All right.
So
Backpedaling.
30 feet or all the
There we
while
go.
kind of looking at him like, oh, God really does love everyone, huh? It doesn't discriminate.
Can you please stop bringing them towards me?
Focusing on my blessing the entire time, concentrating pretty hard. Am I able to hold and make my trigger if someone becomes prone?
Unfortunately, that's
Not how it works.
well, no. You could do something along those lines if it was a tad bit more specific. But like if you pick a particular target, you could say if that person gets knocked down, you would help them back up, things along those lines. But you definitely would want to be within closing distance of them. So did you want to, as you move backward, actually be next to the Reverend?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Sorry,
all right,
I didn't know
no
the
problem.
distance.
It's
It's Mary's first combat, so she's a little frazzled.
It's good. Also, it's our first combat run here, so it's all good. All right. So, should the Reverend be knocked prone, you want to be able to help him back up. Is that what you're holding your action
I
for?
do. I feel
Okay.
a little protective of my friend.
Okay. So you got Guardian Angel there. Anything else that you're doing this particular round?
Just focusing on my concentration.
All right.
Pray,
keeping the
pray.
concentration. All right. Moving down, we have Vaughn.
Do I have clear sight on one of the damaged barrels that seems to be leaking?
Unfortunately not. You are directly opposite side of the creature at this point.
Beautiful. I'm going to scream out with my free action. Hey, large one, back here. Attention, all eyes on me. And I'm just going to hold crossbow, waiting for it to turn towards me until I can see one of the damaged barrels. And I will shoot when it
Holding
does.
your action there. All right. And go ahead and give me a persuasion roll on that. Shout it out, see if you can grab its attention.
So 8.
8. Okay. Does not appear to turn around.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Moving back over to
quiet.
Anna.
I'm sorry, I thought it was like an urgent thing. Okay. Seeing that Vaughn's waiting for their moment, Anna's gonna rush forward, and I'm gonna try and hit it with my mace. And I can add the inspiration. Can I add the inspiration after I roll?
I think so.
Sweet.
And you have
Okay.
2 blessings.
And I have 2, and I have a bless, and I get an advantage because of the fairy light.
Have you ever felt so bathed in the love?
Oh,
of the
this is
Lord?
amazing. Okay. So that's a dirty 20 to hit.
A dirty 20. That would definitely make contact with the creature.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use my. Oh shoot! Can I use my bonus action to cast Thunder Strike, which would add an additional 2d6 of damage.
Yep. You can
And-
certainly do that.
And so that's an additional, so that's 8 plus 10, so that's 22 points of damage.
Woo-wee.
And it's going to push, and it also, if he could make a strength saving throw.
So polite.
Yes.
Please, if you would. It's fine.
Does a 13 save against your caster?
Meets it, beats it, yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, you do the damage, and you see it starts to kind of move back just a little bit, but unfortunately, it catches its footing. Seems very surprised by your strike, as it now kind of pivots towards you with the action focused on you at this point. Can you rotate it just slightly to face Anna there?
And as I strike it, a loud peal of thunder echoes up to approximately 300 feet away. Yeah.
But who's counting?
It booms through the shambles there. And it certainly has commanded this thing's attention. It is very much focused on you at this point. Rolling back around to the top, we have Damon.
So I want to go behind it.
Like close the gap behind it, or
Yes, I want to be facing more like where Vaughn is, so that I can get its attention to turn around.
okay. There we go.
And then with
The
my,
right leg is exposed.
Okay, with my last remaining dagger, I'm going to take a swing at its leg that's exposed.
And this is your sneak attack, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, stabby.
And the number to meter beat in that case would be a 15.
16.
That would certainly meter beat.
Disadvantage?
You get to roll again.
Oh, okay. 19.
Both of those would have meter beat. So,
All right.
I mean, You are good. Let's go ahead and calculate the damage for that.
11.
11 points of damage. All right. So, as you went up and you stabbed it, one of the things you did notice is that the damage that Echo had done to the leg earlier did not seem to be there. As you lay it back open again, you're like, wow, there's not even any scarring. And you were expecting to see like some open exposed meat, but it had closed back up, and you lay it back open at this point.
Okay. And then would I be able to do my bonus action with Fleet Foot and disengage?
Certainly so. When you struck it with the thumb thing, it did rupture several of the barrels. I do apologize, Anna. I forgot to mention that all the barrels at this point have been ruptured. And it is pretty much primarily coated in the front half of this thing with whatever that stuff is. And Damon, are there any more actions that you're taking since you're disengaging, moving back away? I believe at this point you have about 5 more feet of movement.
I would like to move back that 5 feet.
Okay, 5 feet you go. Backwards.
Oh, the other way.
Towards Vaughn?
Yep.
All right. And so, stab into the back of the leg again. She was very upset with the fact that everybody keeps stabbing it in that one particular leg right there. Very, very conscious and very self-aware that you all are taking advantage of that. And now it's its turn. It's going to reach out to grab Anna. That didn't work at all. So, as David stabs it in the leg, as it's reaching forward to grab Anna, he is just locked. And like, it totally botches its attempt, but that was a 1. So yeah, it failed that horribly. It looked really, really poor right there. And at this point, it now pivots around to face Damon and gives a swing at his head, closed fist, looking to try to knock his block off. And that is going to be a 15.
No.
All right. Damon, again, because it's just a blind rage, whiffs through the air, does not come anywhere near you, but it is now facing Damon, which does, I believe, trigger your hold.
Ignis.
Oh, roll to hit. 15 is the number to meet or beat because the armor on its chest has been disabled.
That will hit then with a 19.
With a 19, oh.
I do feel it, Reverend. I feel it.
All right. I need a.
For the record, as nothing looks like a regular crossbow up until a certain point, and you would hear him, more so you being right next. Ignis, the bolt itself just ignites in flame. Wow. And releases it.
Before we get to describing the horrible event that's next to occur, let's go ahead and get a dexterity saving throw from both Damon and Anna, because I believe those are the only two currently within
You
range.
do get, yes.
Yay.
You roll a d4 with it.
Okay, tight.
And 2 of them, right?
Oh my god, it's a natural 20.
It's a
And a
natural
4.
20.
Natural 20 brings it down 19, but still
you
natural
have
20.
4.
Add a 4.
It's a nat 20,
23.
so that's where it's going to stay. All right, and Damon,
22.
22. Wow.
Right.
All right. As the bolt goes flying through the air, raindrops are striking, kind of sizzling a bit as it moves through, and it strikes the center of the chest of the collector. As the collector takes a step and looks down, its eyes get large as it looks at Vaughn because it realizes what's about to happen, and all that stuff on its chest ignites.
I do wink at it for the record.
What's that?
I do wink at it for the record.
Adding a tad bit of insult or injury. It ignites in this massive fireball, which, where Anna is standing, is completely shielded by the armor this thing still has on its back, and it vents out to the side. And Damon, it rushes kind of over the top of your head as you duck down, and this thing is just engulfed in flames, and it begins just screeching, just this horrible, horrible sound, making you kind of cover your ears, and it runs right to the building, to the edge there, and climbs up it like a spider, and up and over the top, and into the night, gone, just screeching and hollering, and you all are left just standing there in the rain as this thing's just terrible wails fade off into the night.
I'll recall the bolt with Reditus.
Oh. And there's one more scream off in the distance as the bolt dislodges from its chest and goes flying back into Vaughn's hand.
As it ran away, to add yet more insult injury, it is going to take 7 thunder damage.
7
As you hear the thunder energy around it collapse in a boom.
Yeah, that's fantastic. As you're kind of looking around at this point in time, there's a couple of fingers kind of laying on the ground. Some nasty, just you're assuming that might be blood from this thing spattered here and there from the boom. That, again, those crispy frying, and it's gone. And again, the rain just kind of closes back in on you, and the night becomes silent.
My dagger that was in the barrel, did that also fall, or did he take it with him?
I don't know. Maybe we should check around.
Can I roll to see?
Oh, absolutely.
I would immediately run over to you, Damon. I'm sorry I couldn't wait for you to get any further away.
It's fine, don't worry about it. 12.
12. Damon begins, like, not even really kind of paying attention. Like, it's fine, don't worry about that. And frantically searching about for the dagger. Now, you do see the one that's wedged in the building.
Okay.
The one that disappeared inside the barrel, you're not locating it.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
You look around, you're like, you don't see it anywhere at this moment.
Is there still some of that ichor on the ground?
The stuff that
Did
seemed to
it,
be
yes.
leaking, yes.
Did it come out of him? Reverend, do you have an empty bottle over there?
I walk over, and I have covering a wound on my head. I walk over and said, "I'm fine, thank you for asking.
I saw what you did.
Here, you can have this bottle. Actually, why don't you get 2? But I'm gonna take 1. There you are. I need it for my collection."
All right.
Just give me a general die roll on that. You're trying to collect it on the ground in the rain.
Damon, are you looking for something?
18.
Yes, my dagger
Yeah, your
that
collection
is
skills are up
embedded
there.
in its barrel.
I like to hoard things.
So, surprisingly enough, she collects 2 very small vials of whatever that ichor is laying on the ground.
And the rest of you are like, what is she doing? I'm just hunched over, like.
I mean, it's not exactly pure, don't get me wrong. I mean, it does have
It's a
some
touch.
contaminants floating in there. But that.
Cheers.
Anything else you all are doing at this moment in
I
time?
will say, if you want to track this thing down, for 10 minutes, I can keep its tracks a bit easier and follow this goo.
You want to track it down? I don't want to go where that thing is.
Well, we got to strike while we have the advantage. You saw it was healing itself.
I don't have
Can't
to
let
do.
it
I don't
regrow.
have to do any such thing.
And we are on fire. Did you see us
Well,
out there?
some
Like
of
it
us
was
were almost on
Literally,
fire.
he's on fire.
Again,
Yeah,
I
it's on
already
fire.
apologized about that. I'm again very sorry.
Also, you do carry weapons.
Yes.
Where were you keeping them?
But you don't need to know that.
Vaughn, I accept your apology as well. Thank you. I'm doing all right
Don't
because
remember offering it, but
I have.
I'm sorry.
Do you doubt my holy prowess anymore?
I will say you impressed me as well. We've traded some skills over the past
It
day.
was a miracle when it delivered a mighty blow to me, but I was protected by the one God's
Are you going
blessing.
to
Are you doing okay?
Oh, I shall persevere.
Damon, I'll assist you in looking for your dagger.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I'd start investigating around, but you would notice that left eye looks to be like almost like bloodshot. It's kind of like rubbing at it continually. Yeah, I'll take a look, and I'd like to look for it.
Absolutely.
That'll be a 19.
It's good to have friends.
Aw.
So as Vaughn is moving around, poking around towards the pile itself, walks kind of past the shield there, and as you look at the ground, you can see there's a chunk of flesh that has apparently fallen off this thing, really crispy fried, nice and golden there, and the dagger is kind of embedded in it. Looks like a piece of wood kind of stuck into it as well, where the dagger must have passed through. And there is the dagger for Damon.
Pick it up and
I would like to point out
move.
that these daggers are very, very nice. They're not shoddy craftsmanship. They are very nice daggers with intricate designs on them.
This one's a little blackened. Got a little wear up on that, but amazingly enough, the metal and stuff like that does not appear to have been damaged, even given the fact that it was in an explosion.
And gives it a flip. Removes the chunk of flesh. It's very nice.
Thank you. Is your eye okay?
You would notice that it looks to be fine.
I saw that you took a bit of damage, and I would love to offer you one of my healing tonics, but I am out at this time. I would need some time to make more.
Hear me when I say, this time, just yesterday, I do not know if I would have partaken in one of yours. Count me amongst your flock.
Bless your heart, my son.
I can only imagine the grin that must have just kind of popped up for a split second there. All right. Is there anything else you're doing at this moment in time with the pile here? Or
The shield that we had originally seen. I want to see if we can find the bodies of those poor souls.
All right. As you begin poking through the debris pile there, what you do find is those two young guys that you saw earlier, they have definitely succumbed to the collector. And it looks like he beat them down. That's why the shield itself is all mashed into what was making those moans was more than likely the collector trying to lure you in as well. Also in the pile, you all do uncover a stash that looks to have been almost reverently set up, like a little shrine almost. There are 17 pieces of gold and 52 pieces of silver. You see that there is a ruby that sits in the middle of it. It looks to be finely cut. Along with that, some small bits of emerald. And then there is the fanciest velvet pouch that you have ever seen. It is gorgeous looking, very intricate design work on the pouch itself. Just laying there amongst the rest of this.
Wow. Some of the things that I noticed as I was looking for are fallen individuals, not even acquaintances. I'd call out to the rest of you, but I want to take some time and I want to grab the shields that they had, whatever their house insignia sigils. I want to take those, and I want to see if we can make some type of little like cache or memorial type thing. They shouldn't just be left out here in the elements.
Bury them in the debris pile. That could make it pretty handy.
At least it's cover and they're not just exposed.
One thing you definitely do notice about the fancy arms and armor that they have is that it looks over functionality, which probably would explain why they didn't do so well. Looks like they spent a whole lot looking fancy, not so much making sure they were ready for combat.
What a shame. What a shame. I see it all the time.
They
Care
shouldn't
so
have
much
come
about the way you look and not about the functionality.
While the Reverend's saying that, I walk over with Vaughn and I kind of give a silent, quick prayer over the two bodies. Nothing fancy, just acknowledgement of passing.
I don't think you have it. Yes, you have some flash to you, but you certainly have some functionality as well.
Well, I prefer to let people underestimate me. I find that it works out in my favor that way.
Smart approach.
Seems we are more formidable than we suspected, many of us.
All right. Well, I believe at this moment we're going to take our first break for the evening. And we'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so to pick up where we left out there and see if they can find the missing children. So please join us when we return. welcome back. So we just finished a round of combat where they defeated the Collector and are now kind of enjoying the spoils and patching up the wounds. So at this point, I said you all found the stash, you buried the bodies. Who's going to divvy up the goodies? Are you going to let the Reverend hold all that for you?
No.
He's very
Oh,
good at holding gold.
I'm happy to hold that for us. As you know, I am trustworthy.
Should we see what's in the pouch?
Certainly. I sat it right over there. It's closer to you.
Do you want
all.
the honors? You kind of finished them off for us.
No, that was us. That was collective.
Sure. Catalyst, final.
Here, I hold it out front of
With the
you. Yeah.
All right, so Vaughn, you're holding the bag?
Yeah.
Looking at it, it is this beautiful crimson velvet bag. Has a nice, beautiful flap that goes over the top of it, and there is this intricate silver stitching that goes around the lip of the flap that closes. And it does not look like a design that's like accidental. It looks like it has purposely been stitched on there. Again, not like a flourish. It almost looks like there's some sort of writing in it.
Was it recognizable?
Do you have arcane?
I do.
Go ahead.
12.
12. Not quite sure exactly what it is, but you know for a fact that this is definitely some sort of enchantment of some nature that's been placed on there.
What do you see there?
I can't quite make this out, or at least it's above me. Anyone else understand this filigree?
Can I give it a try?
Certainly, please.
Is it a language I know?
As a matter of fact, it is a language that you know.
Oh.
What does it say?
It basically is a kind of a flourishing poem that doesn't translate too terribly well to the northern speech, but it is this little rhyme about being an endless supply of rope.
Endless supply of rope?
An endless supply of rope. And as you can kind of look at it, you're like, what? And then you can see just at the edge, looks like this little head of rope just kind of poking out from the little flap there.
I'll just kind of like pull it a little bit and then pull it some more and just kind of.
It doesn't pull.
Oh.
As you like begin to really try tugging on it, and it does not come.
It's something about an endless supply of rope, but this seems very ended to me.
It's a bag of rope.
Well, maybe. And I'll hand it back to you. I can't figure it out.
If you give it to me, I might be able to ascertain what manner of enchantment is upon it.
Please, yes, then pass it back around.
I take it wherever we are going or what we're doing for the next 10 minutes, I will be examining this with magic sense.
And that will be able to reveal not how it functions, but
Tell me whether it is magical and the school of magic it is imbued with.
okay. It is certainly magic. Like that's during the 10 minutes that you're holding it, you guys begin moving through the city. It is very much magic. There are several different schools involved with this. It appears there might be some temporal distortion and there might be some fabrication. The exact nature is very hard to pin down again. It seems to be a blending. It's not just one type of evocation that has created this thing.
Very, very curious. Seems to be more than one type of magic that it contains. I've never seen anything quite like this.
It's not common.
I've been around many different places and seen some things. Well, I've got some tales that for another time. But anyway, it is very bizarre.
And this is genuine. This isn't one of your making it sound prettier than it is situations.
Carrie.
You wooed me, man.
Focus!
It is genuine. I am telling the truth.
Well, I appreciate it.
Kind of leans into Carrie. They did try very hard to assist us. We're giving at least the benefit of the doubt.
I just can't translate him all the time.
The gentleman is a tough read.
Trying to see where the authenticity lies.
I'm not listening to this. I've begun examining my potion bottles, seeing if I cannot
Liquor.
mix up anything that I could douse onto my head wound, which I still have.
Oh,
At that moment, too, when you leaned into me and called me Carrie, I did also correct you and say, It's Mary, by the way.
I'm quite certain you said Carrie.
Right, it's Mary now, again, in
Today?
general,
Today?
always. It wasn't a good lie. I'm not good at that. I don't do it a lot. You can ask God. But I was a little nervous.
Well, just for the record, I won't be taking up with the one, but thank you for feeling comfortable in telling me your true name?
Yes, Mary Aries is the whole name.
Mary it is.
Thank you.
As they begin discussing Mary's true name, the rain still continues to beat down on you as you all stand here in the middle of the street. Evening time is coming in.
Can I walk over to the Reverend after our little conversation and the rain say, would you like me to help you with that?
I'm very uncomfortable by this.
Why?
You find me in quite an embarrassing situation. You see, I'm all out of my potion ingredients. I cannot heal myself.
I have bandages.
You know, I normally work alone. But, all
I haven't
right.
been alone for a while, and the one God wouldn't appreciate you saying that.
Oh, well, I meant other people, of course. Well, very well. If you'd like to bandage me, I suppose I will allow it.
I'd like to bandage his head.
Go ahead and put a nice medical roll. You're not necessarily rolling to, see if you succeed or fail. It's how pretty it looks.
12.
12. It's a very comparable, satisfying bandage. Bleeding stopped. It's not overly gaudy. You got this whole head wrap, but
And any of my own blood, which is spilt onto my clothing, I wave my hand across it, and it is now clean. And as I'm doing it, I say, I have been purified.
Wait, you could do that the whole time?
Yes.
Right. Burrs. I remember now.
Would you care for me to clean your garments?
Listen, don't we have a child to be finding?
That is correct, Damon.
Thank you.
You are a man of focus.
Don't touch me.
Very sorry.
So at Damon's insistence, where direction are you all heading right now in the night?
Do we go towards the monster or away from the monster?
Well, the monster went up on rooftops and ran off somewhere.
We can't all do that like you.
Can you pick up any trail like you did outside?
Of the monster, yes. Of the child, no.
I guess the rain's washed most of that away, hasn't it? Well, using your intuition, if you weren't traveling on foot, maybe with a wagon, people in tow, which way would you head?
I look at a city of a place very foreign to me, and I go, that way. And I'm going to roll a d4 and choose a direction.
Fantastic.
4, so north, south, east, west. West.
All right.
Now, with my knowledge of the city, do I know if that is leading us to a dead end?
Interesting.
It's probably not going to lead you to a dead end, but it might lead you back towards the fields. See, the way the sprawl runs, it runs kind of a crescent shape north. So it's longer from north to south than it is from east to west.
Vaughn, I'll admit I don't know where I am.
Anna, didn't you say you're familiar with this area?
Oh, it's been a long time though, and not really like this area.
Not the sprawl.
Not this, bro. No.
It's been a long time.
Sorry, not
for
the
all of
shambles. My
us.
bad. Sorry, not the shambles. It's an area that you did not visit.
Yes, no.
Right. Well, if anything triggers any memories, feel free to.
For sure. I'm
It
not
sounds
really
as
an
if you
outdoorsy-
looking down upon this area. This is hard-working folk live here.
For sure. No,
They
I'm
were.
not saying that. I'm sorry. I just haven't
you okay?
been
Did
around.
you get
yeah.
hit?
No, I'm fine. Yeah, no.
Are you also from the mountains?
Yes,
Oh.
I am from the mountains.
Really?
Yes.
I'm inciting this silently as I'm
Go ahead.
blocking this hard.
I'm also suspicious.
We're just all.
14?
14. Go
Sus.
ahead and
Okay, tight. Cool.
Can I roll as well, since I'm asking her?
Tell me your secrets.
That is a natural one.
that is a natural.
Oh.
All right. You can see he looks over. He's like, "Are you from the mountains?" Totally. Just. Yeah, absolutely.
I love the
And
mountains. It's like they're
when
so
you go to look at
high.
her, you can just see line
In,
right,
like,
right across the forehead.
like rocky, but also so homey. You know, so homey.
I
It's
say
not
nothing.
homey at all. It's very cold and brutal.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
You
I'm
have
not.
to-
I'm not from the mountains. I wish. I'm not really like very outdoorsy. So I just didn't. Yeah.
Well, why'd you lie about it?
Because I felt uncomfortable at
No.
home. Sorry.
Can
Yeah.
we have this conversation later?
Oh, good call. The children.
Right.
The children.
Echo, it's.
Named something.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I made an assumption that with some of the skills that I'd seen
Still
earlier, that
hurts.
maybe this would be something. So I know it's a different terrain, different environment for you. If I may suggest, I propose that they're probably taking them further in. I imagine if they have some type of stronghold or fortification, they're probably looking for something that might be easier to defend and not so on the outskirts. So maybe we head a little bit deeper and see if we can find any signs of them.
You know, try to head like a northerly direction at this point.
I'd like to, towards more the center, continuing heading a little bit deeper.
All right, very good. Who's leading?
I've got good eyes. I've got good ears. Good nose. I can
You
take
would
the front.
notice that Vaughn has already pulled down his book and is attempting to like scrawl down all of the notes from that previous encounter.
In the rain?
100%.
All
Has
right.
has the cloak kind of pulled up over it a little bit
One of those NASA
and is
things.
trying to just like just scrawl down.
I was just making sure you
Yeah.
had to like pop
No.
it right out. You're like, oh, that paper's done.
Nope.
Okay.
This is something
So,
that he is very
I would like you to
comfortable doing.
give me a, at this point, it would be survival.
Okay. Just in general, or for the collector, or for the child?
This you're looking for the children.
Okay.
So just a 1d20 plus your survival.
26.
26.
Yeah.
Feeling a bit more invigorated from the conversation that you had with Bonnie, like, okay, all right, there's not so much pressure on you at this point. You're like,
Pep talk.
I feel that we should probably go this direction, heading the northern path. And as you begin marching your troop forward, you begin feeling more and more confident because as you come around this one corner, way up the street, as you're stopping to look for directions, you see that this little, is that a glimmer of light up that way? And at this point, you have seen nothing that seems to be illuminated anywhere within the shambles. And listening very carefully through the rain, tapping into your training, you think you hear children's laughter, maybe? Is that what that sound is down that way?
I just kind of give like stop.
I run into you.
I say, with this kind of motion, I just hold up my hands. And,
Do you hear that?
No.
It's like children laughing.
no, I do not hear that.
Does it sound like multiple voices?
It's hard to tell. If you had to put money on it, if you were a Benton style man, you think it sounds like more than one voice. Like I said, like children, kind of like children laughing.
Did Katya say anything about there being other children needing rescuing with Anna?
I only recall her mentioning the one.
I'd assume there'd be more who need help.
Do a wisdom. Anybody that wants to, you roll with advantage. Go ahead. I'm sure the party is starting to chip in at this moment.
I'll take the first roll because it's not a 1.
Oh,
16.
16. One of the things that Katya had said is that they took them, that they had captured people from the commune. Her husband and son had been killed in the debacle that went on, but she did say that they had taken them. So it does seem to indicate that there's definitely more than one individual that's been taken. And looking at what you saw there as far as bodies and stuff went, there definitely weren't enough bodies to equal the number of homes that even if one person lived in each house, there weren't enough bodies there to equal that.
So definitely, possibly, there are multiple children, but the laughing for some reason is unnerving me. So let's try and keep it at least quiet, like as much as we can.
You don't seem like many things unnerve you, so I am, count me as unnerved as well.
Well, there's just something dissonant about the state she was in versus laughter.
This is not a place of joy currently. I can't imagine them laughing and enjoying their time as captives. That's unsettling. Caution then?
Yeah. If we can find a window, maybe we can peek in before we see what's in this building. Maybe something like that. A cellar.
Good idea.
We should probably get off the street.
Again, you haven't gotten to the building. It's just a glimmer of light in the distance that you see.
Yeah. Let's kind of fan out a bit and approach slowly.
Do you want to hold back with me again?
Yeah.
We'll guard the back
Damon,
slowly.
give you the blessing of stealth. Use it wisely.
Thank you.
All right. Are you going to send your 3 scouts ahead? Go ahead and roll with advantage, scouts. And Team Clank Clank, you all are hanging back while Team Ninja moves forward.
Before Vaughn goes to, thank you for everything in the battle. Here's guidance moving forward. Should you need it, we'll be in the back.
Thank you.
So Vaughn's rolling for the team.
Did somebody else already roll? I feel like I already heard dice.
Oh, you're good.
Or-
If you want to roll, you can.
Who had the best
One
number?
roll for the team. That's all.
Okay,
I just
okay.
need somebody.
Awesome.
Guidance.
That'll be with guidance. 23.
That's fairly stealthy. There's a reason you guys are Team Ninja. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You all begin moving
Standing
forward.
there with
Just
my
like-
arms like.
The nice thing about the rain is that, number one, it limits vision, and number two, it really distorts and changes sound, so it does give you extra cover as you're moving forward. The only other negative side about that is it does it for everything else that's out there within the rain as well. So that's just something you all are kind of bearing in mind as you're moving along the street. What I assume from what you're talking about is you're kind of ducking in along the sides of buildings, dipping in along the shadows, anywhere you can tuck and slink your way forward.
I want to try to keep to within 120 feet of them for reasons.
For reasons.
Yep. Yeah.
So-
We'll stick
Well,
with the.
So about 120 feet behind Team Ninja. Team Clank Clank is kind of moving forward. You guys go ahead and give me one stealth roll for y'all.
We don't need
And
to
I'm
do
not going
that.
to make you roll with disadvantage because you do have the Reverend with you.
Allow me.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Well, I do have disadvantage. to
Oh, you
stealth.
do? Never
Yes,
mind. You
I
guys
do.
get one full disadvantage set. Fantastic. Roll. Take the worst of them.
14.
14. All right.
Okay.
Not as bad as it possibly could have been. That's a solid.
it's always a win.
So as you all are sneaking through, you're like, oh, thank goodness for this rain. As you're like, clank, 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 clank. Like, I need to put some oil on that.
You get
So,
rusty out here.
But fortunately, not enough to really give away your position. I mean, as Team Ninja's moving forward there, you're about 300 feet away, and you're finally able to discern that it's actually 2 oil lamps that are attached to the wall of a very dilapidated tavern. The lamps are underneath what looks to be a sagging roof of a covered porch, and on either side of the lamps within either side of the lamps is a set of open doors to the establishment. They're not fully wide open, but there's nice gap in it. There's a sign depicting 2 large mugs swaying in the storm and the wind. It's kind of dangling very precariously on just one of the 2 hooks that would have been hanging and holding it up there. The hard pack in front of the building, there are several wagons parked next to a very weathered horse hitch. And you can see, strangely enough, there are dozens and dozens of these massive mounds of earth and rock that have been piled up in front of the inn out in the roadway area. And as the heavy rain is just hitting this, just kind of melting a good chunk of it, you can see it running down the street back towards the direction that you all had come. The sheer number and size of these piles basically blocks any further egress past the tavern itself.
So can we see that? Well, we might not be able to see because we are far away. Vaughn,
You hear a little echo in your ear.
this is God. It's your conscience. Just kidding, it's the Reverend.
I'm sure for a moment you're like, oh no, God speaks like the Reverend.
Maybe he was right.
There's a sigh, an exasperated sigh first. What is it?
Well, I was just checking in. I'll worry about you.
Is this my confessional?
What do you? Perhaps later. What do you see up ahead? Do you? Is there
At
a
this
sign?
moment in time, one of the doors comes flying open with a bang! And from inside the tavern, out stumble 3 short, really no taller than maybe like a 3-4-year-old child creatures. They have these very large, oblong-looking head, thin, wiry little bodies, and their eyes glow this very unnerving blood red that is even visible in the dark rain. They have sharp, pointed teeth, and they're just preposterously large mouths. They basically stretch almost from one side of their skull up to the other. And the trio appear to be arguing with each other very nastily as they struggle to move this giant hunk of rock just and just screeching at each other, barking back and forth. You can tell that they're definitely not cooperating very well as they're rolling this rock. And as they're doing it, they're trying not to spill the drinks as they perform this laborious task. The rock reaches the edge of the very short set of stairs that lead from the tavern down to the street itself, and as it careens over the edge, unfortunately, one of the goblins is just a little bit too far forward as the momentum and the gravity grab the rock, and it just takes the goblin right along with it as it rolls down. It's like a thump, crunk, splurch. As the boulder's sitting there, you can see these little arms and legs sticking out from underneath it, and the rest of the rock appears to be obscuring the goblin. The other two are sitting there with their drinks. They look at it like, and just chug. And at this point, they go arm in arm back on inside the tavern.
You would have heard a muffled response, then a pause. Sorry about that. That was company. I see the lights. There were 3. They seem to be taking care of themselves. But I recognize them as goblins.
There is no mistaking these are definitely a type of goblin.
Goblins, goblinoids to be certain. We're 3, at least 2, could be more inside. They seem to be building some type of mound or fortification in front of the doors.
That's very interesting. And very bad news for us. Can you read the name of this tavern by chance?
Can I?
It's hanging on there. It's the 2 mugs, which, ironically enough, there are 2 mugs right on the tavern thing. So it looks to be pretty fairly easy to.
Good branding.
Yeah, easy branding on that.
I'll leave you on red for like 6 seconds after that question. I don't see why this is pertinent, but yes, it's the 2 mugs.
2 mugs. All right. Very well. So should we move up? You're in charge here. For now.
Were you speaking to me again?
Did you want me to dial one of the other 2?
No, I guess you caught me by surprise with that last comment. Personally, I think we should come back and regroup with you all, so we'll be back momentarily.
Well, I whisper IRL to my 2 companions. They're coming back our way. Seems like we might have some goblin trouble.
That's what we came here for, right?
Not me.
Came here anticipating.
Echo. That was when they cackled right there, all of a sudden you put the laughter pieces together on that. That wasn't children that you've been hearing, it was definitely the goblins. You can understand now why it was kind of distorted at that distance.
I look to you 2. I think we should report back what we've seen, and kind of like a little bit beat up, rubbing his chest still a little bit. I'm gonna need a moment if we're going into another encounter.
Is there, kind of back towards the team metal, is there like any kind of mounds or ditches or anything where we could theoretically like set up a very small camp that would have enough cover that a goblin walking outside wouldn't see us?
It would not be hard for you to take one of the connecting side streets here and be completely out of view.
Okay, so I'll kind of gesture to one of those to Team Ninja, and then like, let's go back.
Go. Should one of us go forward and see how many we're dealing with?
I don't know if I trust myself, but I think you're more than capable.
Well, we did get a report that there was about a dozen. Well, now maybe 11. So
I think
He could be okay. You just flip the rock off him, he might be fine.
Can I make from far away a medicine check? On
Absolutely,
his
go
life
ahead.
status?
Actually, I'm going to have you make a nature check on that.
I think that's a 16.
Judging by the amount of nasty green fluid that's leaking out from underneath the rock, you're pretty sure that that's not. Yeah, he's done.
he's passed on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, yes.
I think it's a marvelous idea. I'm worried that there's only a handful inside the old tavern, and the rest are still out and about. So if one of us, 2 of us, slink up there, maybe one, myself, or maybe Echo as well, we could hide away and keep watch, maybe a sign if we hear something. I'm essentially I'd like to keep watch around us to ensure that we're not snuck up on while we're trying to get a little bit
All
closer.
right. Go ahead and one of you roll and do it with advantage. All right, Damon, your turn.
These were all bad.
Oh no.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, all right. As you all are moving up, go ahead and both of you drop a perception for me real fast.
Oh, me as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Since you all are basically you're moving really close at this point.
It's a nat 1 for a total of 2.
Fantastic.
7.
7. All right. So neither one of you
Killing it.
are terribly perceptive on anything on the exterior. You should be very focused on the building itself. And as you're moving up to the building, nice ninja style, nothing seems to be noticing you. However, you do notice that all the windows basically look to be barricaded up. There is a ton of noise coming from inside the cracked doors. You can just kind of see a sliver inside. As you move around to the back of the building, again, you can kind of see dirt has been piled up all around the exterior of this building. You can't even see through the windows. Again, they look to be covered, and the back door itself is barricaded. And again, as you move back around to the front, the only way you really think you're going to be able to get a count of what's going on inside is to give it a good old glance on in there.
Do we have the rope on us?
Which rope?
The bag that said the poem.
Bag rope?
Magic rope. Yeah.
Well, I think Vaughn was the one carrying that, correct?
Wow, keeping things honest here. I passed that over to our good friend the Reverend to tell us what it
Well,
was.
he looked
Oh,
at it.
that
Will
is
you not
true.
give it
That's
back?
true. The Reverend does.
Oh, I still have it.
Oh yeah.
Is there a chimney on
That
the
went
end?
into a pocket.
Pack mule over
As a
there.
matter of fact, there is, and there is this delightful barbecue scent coming out of the chimney.
Maybe?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay, something else. Backup plan.
Do we risk attempting to get closer to the front, or do we cut our losses here, regroup, and come back in force?
Can we not just assume for the worst and then meet up and take a rest? Let's assume there's a bunch of them there.
Yes, I agree. Plan for the worst.
Echo. This is the spirit of the woods.
No, I know it's you, Reverend. You've already done this to me.
I'm very sleepy. My head hurts.
Really? What
Yes.
happened? Don't you have like a tonic for that?
I'm all out.
What, you didn't bring more than 2?
I didn't know we were going to fight a giant behemoth monster covered in barrels filled with booze.
Okay, good point. Alright, what is it?
That was very oddly specific. Anything else but the booze, and he would have been prepared for it.
I was
so-
planning for this.
Are y'all coming back so we can take a rest?
Yeah. My plan is to take the endless rope poem bag and climb through the chimney. But Vaughn doesn't think that's a good idea. I can tell from the way he looked at me.
The chimney, looking at it, it will not fit a human being squeaking its way down there. There are two, when it comes up, there are 2 toppers on it that look maybe a foot wide each one. It would be, unless you're going to cut somebody in half and drop them down and hope they come back together at the bottom.
I
it's
cast
gonna be
Santa
hard
Claus.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, on second
You've
thought,
all been very naughty, goblins.
Call for all of you.
but the surprise factor would be quite nice on it. Huh?
on second thought, it is a really bad plan. I should listen to Vaughn more. We're coming back.
Right.
Find a ditch.
I've been in a ditch before. I should be able to find one.
You all come back around the street. As you're sitting there, are you looking for a ditch, or are you going to go into one of the empty buildings that's on the other side of the street? It's a very packed urban area.
Well, I don't know how to do urban foliage, but I could hide us with good brush cover and a ditch, but you know, a building might be easier.
Just push us open a door.
Yeah, that's probably easier. I'm gonna listen to you more. I said it. Yeah.
Fine, drop me a D20, please.
It was a pool! It's a 2 on the die.
2, okay. Vaughn, you push on the door, it just kind of like falls apart and falls down. As you all look inside, you're like, well, it's out of the rain.
Sure, I'll go first.
Once everyone goes inside, now there will be a gap at the top, so it will look like a damaged door, but a door appears where the one fell down.
Okay, I'm tracking.
Yep. Is it actually there? If I reach out?
You stick
Your
your hand
hand,
through.
your hand goes right through it.
It's not a very good door. Can I roll to see like if there's any semblance of what happened here? Was it like ransacked or anything like that?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll the threshold. It's not terribly high.
Okay.
Just
Perception.
drop a d20 for perception.
Okay. That will be a 12.
12. Looks like whoever owned this place grabbed whatever they could and fled. There's still all kinds of rotten remnants of things in and around this place. It was a homestead. The first floor of it is a very small living room. There is a kitchen with a pantry. There's a set of stairs to the right that goes up to 3 very small rooms as well. All of them are kind of built around the central chimney, which comes up from where the kitchen area would be, which also would have heated that front room as well. But again, table itself and everything in here is in relatively poor condition. There do not appear to be any rats and stuff, though. There is evidence that at one point in time, vermin did ransack this place, but it has been a long, long time since there's been vermin in here.
And you said there's an upstairs area?
Mm-hmm.
Does that overlook the inn? Is there a
No,
window?
when you all came down, you went down the side street, so for here you cannot see the end. Nice thing is the end cannot see you as well. So it does keep the rain off of you on the bottom floor. The upstairs floor, there's some holes in the ceiling here and there. And you're not that sure about the stairs themselves. It will require an agility check should you decide to use the stairs.
Okay. I'll hold off on that until we're established in here.
It's unfortunately been a long time. With the die roll that Vaughn made was to see the condition of the building. And unfortunately, it's a 2 out of 20, so it's not going to collapse on you. It wasn't a 1.
I know nothing of real estate, so.
Yeah. So, if only that had been one of your expertise. It is a place that you all could very easily camp for the night. You probably wouldn't want to set up a fire or anything along those lines, but you could certainly get some rest, especially with that secure door at the front of the establishment.
And also with the door, just in front, is a powerful odor of a skunk.
Oh, nice.
Just real stinky.
All right.
Reverend, there's not been a sign of vermin for a while. Do you think it's a bad idea to have a very pungent odor of an animal in the one place we're hiding where there's been no sign of animals? And also goblins might like skunk.
That's true. I've never met a goblin. I played cards with a man once. His nickname was Goblin.
That seems insensitive.
He was insensitive. Anyway, I will dissipate the odor. I was just trying to.
It is good, but just for this very specific scenario.
I'll trust your judgment.
Yeah, okay. We got it.
So, the dilemma is, I don't feel we're equipped to run into anything this evening, but as far as we know, they're holed up in there with at least the one child and the rest that were taken. How long are we willing to rest?
If there are children in danger, I feel as if we must act to save them.
I cannot agree anymore.
Oh, if you're feeling ready to fight anything again, then I say we go. But we're not any good. We're not of any use if we can't protect ourselves either.
It's true, and I am low on holy power, as it were.
And how long might it take you to get some more of your tonics prepared?
I'll take a night's rest.
A night's rest?
Yeah.
Guessing about what time it is, you all are looking about 6 o'clock in the evening. Again, later on in the year, so the sun is basically has not 100% set, but it is disappeared below the horizon. So you have very little vestiges of the daylight left at this point. I mean, especially with the cloud cover you have, it's basically nighttime at this point. So if you did take an 8-hour long rest, I would put you about 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's not the worst idea to get some shut-eye now while we can. And I can't agree with you anymore, Mary. The idea that if we rush in there now, we fall to these goblins. What use are we to anyone?
I mean, I feel great, but I could take a rest. That would be sleep does sound nice.
Today would not be my day of choice to die.
Nor mine.
About you, Damien, you look like you stared death in the face before.
What?
I'm just trying to talk you up, make you feel good.
Where'd you learn to throw knives like that?
Oh, I've been around.
Can you teach me?
Sure, later, not now.
Yeah, oh, well, of course.
All right, so you're going to take a long rest?
Yeah, with a little bit of that downtime, though, I'd like to try to recount as much information as possible from that fight with the Collector and keep as detailed notes as I can as to its mannerisms. I'm adding this to my Slayer's grimoire of
Okay.
everything.
Excellent, excellent.
Can I walk over to him with my little bottle of Ichor goo? Be like, this do any good for you?
Actually, yes, that would.
Get some concrete details out of it.
Do you mind?
Whatever you need to get out of that.
Take the little stopper off. It's one of your
Careful.
bottles, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Kind of takes the stopper off, like a finger off, just a little bit, just like to get like the viscosity of it. Wipes it off. Continues going back to their notes.
All right.
Tastes like.
Does it smell? Well, we want to make it through the night.
We've made that mistake before.
We have?
We don't do that again.
I mean, last time I felt great. We tried something. That was with Rex.
He mumbles to himself.
Yeah.
Consider taste, but not tonight.
That may be a slightly different vintage at this point. All right, so I'm going to set up a rotating shift for the evening.
Yeah.
Vaughn, you're going to be first. I'll be fresh for your notes. All right. Roll for the evening here. And all right. You have an uneventful 8 hours. Not even anything wandering up and down your street. Every now and then, particularly your more skilled trackers can hear way in the distance more of that cackling laughter. But again, nothing ever gets close enough to you all. And 2 o'clock in the morning comes, everybody's fresh and full of vim. So that would reset your spells, reset your prayers, and whatever healing dice you all want to drop down on that. So here we go. What are we doing now?
While I was taking my watch, I was filling up my bottles
All right.
and blessing them.
During Reverend's watch, you hear some tinkling, some clinkling, and some mumbling.
Mary probably didn't sleep very well anyway, just being kind of freaked out the situation you're in. So heard a lot of prayers and mumblings, trying not to keep anyone up. I was annoyed at the clinking, but I wasn't going to sleep anyway, so I kept my mouth shut.
All right.
Echo took his watch and just kind of, when everyone else was asleep, he pulled out the stuffed wolf and just kind of held it in his hands for a while, just kind of looking at it. And then just had a moment.
Yep. Again, you're like, you find it very interesting that it would be the wolf. All right.
We
Anything
packed
else while we're
snacks,
doing?
right? We packed food. Just wanted to check. Okay, great, wonderful, fantastic.
Oh,
Are you eating some trail rations right now?
Yes, yes.
Anna, what is your favorite food, if I might ask? I myself find it very hard to narrow it down.
Okay.
these things.
Oh, right now.
But if you were trapped on perhaps you were stuck on in Timorol Islands and you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, okay. I think right now where I would really land is like a roast goose with all the fixings, like the potatoes and the bread and the salad. Oh, the fresh salad. Oh.
As she's regaling me with this meal, your like gruel or hardtack that you're eating, I touch it, and the next bite tastes like the best roast goose that you've ever had.
This is amazing. This is so good.
The one God has many blessings.
As lovely as this conversation is, we have a mission to complete.
Do you enjoy anything ever?
No.
Okay.
Knife throwing.
That's fair.
Knife
No,
throwing.
do you enjoy it?
Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do. But
Okay.
there is a child that we have been tasked
You're gonna throw knives
to
at?
find.
As David is talking, I'll reach behind your ear. Ooh, got the piece. Did you know you had that behind there? Live a little, my friend.
Truly a man of miracles.
That's fine. We'll just let the child die. I'll sit back, I'll be quiet. Go on, continue your conversation about food while there is a child with goblins in there.
We must sustain ourselves to get our strength so we can go save the children. However, I do agree with you.
We
It's
should
called
be making
morale.
a plan.
Well,
Anyone dream of one?
has anyone ever lived in an inn before or worked in one?
We spent one night in one.
Do they typically have basements or side entrances or cellars?
of the Alamo.
The fear that I have is they've had enough time to build up whatever that mound is that they have. It looked like most of the windows were covered. Whatever back door that they could have been looks like it's covered as well. I couldn't see anything besides the front door. But they have to have a cellar to keep some of the produce cooler.
Do I remember what kind of structure the inns in this area have?
Yep, go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
It's a 3.
3. Seeing as how you've never been to this particular tavern, you really can't speak too much on it. I mean, there's a couple different ways that it could have a side cellar entrance, which nobody seems to have noticed. Maybe it's buried under some of the dirt. Or they could just simply have been bringing everything in through the front door and taking it down to a cellar, or maybe there's a storeroom in the back, if it has a cellar.
I
One thing that
simply
you know
remain
about
quiet.
the one thing you do know about the north, though, is it is very typical for most of these establishments, actually most buildings in particular, to have a cellar of some nature. Even this ransack place you're in right now probably has a cellar, a root cellar or something.
Well, in that case, through my travels, I've stayed at many inns, and they often do have a cellar to keep things cool and store their foodstuffs and things.
Maybe they have more goose.
Maybe.
I don't know
That
if
could
that's
be a
on
cellar.
the goblin's menu, per se. We could hope.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
Well, there's the option of, if there is a cellar, some of us going in through the cellar, and then some of us staying outside that front door. But I don't know if we want to split the party or not.
Well, if you can communicate with us, do you need to see us to do that?
And I'm sure the chat just blew up with, split the party, split the
I
party.
do not need to be able to see you to communicate with you. Well, how do I put this? I could make myself appear as a goblin if that would be useful in this situation.
Do you speak Goblin?
I do not.
That seems to be an integral part to the plan.
If you have dark speak, you speak up.
I do. I can feed you words through your head. If you want to go in, you
Perhaps.
relay what they're saying to me, and then I'll give you the words, and you do your best.
We
to-
bind your hands. You're my
Well,
prisoner.
I would never be bound. I'm simply too
All right,
agile
but-
to be caught.
It will be illusory, my friend. I would never dream of such a thing. I will lead you in as my prisoner. Once distracted, the rest of you pounce in. Fisticuffs commence.
Do you still want me to speak Goblin?
Yes.
Okay.
What, if we haven't secured the children, what's to stop them from executing whatever their plan is, if they're planning on harming them first?
Do they know that's why we're there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, we're not the only people to have come in to this area, but I think everyone has different motives.
Well, it seemed like they thought it was funny when one of their goblins died. So maybe if we kill one in a similarly comedic manner, they'll respect us. And we can
Plan
become
ever.
friends with them.
Establish
Yeah.
ourselves in the hierarchy.
And
yes,
then we
yes.
can have one of our more invisible friends slip in the back and look for the children, while the rest of us party with the goblins.
Party.
That's just not the route that I thought this was going to take.
Just an idea.
Dame, if you're willing and interested in finding an alternative entrance, I would be more than happy to go with you.
I'm not very interested. Call me a party pooper, I don't care. With partying with the goblins, I would like to find a different entrance.
I'd have to agree. But I can't say that the multiple approaches does sound possibly like the best idea that we have so far.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be. It seems like they were drinking the alcohol in there, so there's a chance they could be drunk.
Could give us an advantage.
So what if you both sneak in first, see if all the goblins are asleep, maybe locate the children, and then the Reverend could get in touch with you at certain times. And then if you need a distraction, we could cue Operation Captured Echo, and we'll stand back and look good. I don't know.
Well,
Do you have any sleepy time potions over there?
Actually, I do.
We could add a little something to their drinks.
Well, they wouldn't even need to drink it, actually. I could put them to sleep. The problem is, if I don't get all of them, then it would probably alert the ones that don't fall asleep.
I was going to say also, if any of our plans don't go well and you two are outside, I'll make a very convincing bird noise. That is your signal to Operation Battering Ram.
Fantastic.
And come into the
Okay,
inn,
okay.
flail swinging.
Fantastic. Okay.
There's
That
no
sounds
birds
great.
here, right? So,
So we'll
Yeah,
know.
I will be
We'll
the
know.
only one.
right.
Okay.
But it will
Alright.
be exceptionally realistic.
You're just really good at it.
Yes.
You got it.
It's one of
So
my
if we
things.
get into trouble, then you go make your bud sound. I will attempt to incapacitate as many of them as possible. You beat down the door and start swinging a hammer.
Yes.
Shall we go take a look and see what locations are going to be most ideal for us?
I see nothing possibly could go wrong with this plan.
I love the party with the goblins plan. That's fantastic.
Party with the goblin.
All right, so
Party
are
with
you going to do
goblin,
the
hey.
ninja approach again, or how are they breaking up the party exactly?
I think it would be wise for us to at least travel up there collectively, spot out the locations where we know you will all be at in case things do go south. Where will you be lying in wait? Where will you be preparing for this captured echo plan? And give us time to hopefully find another location. Maybe we missed something whenever we were taking a look earlier.
And not to insult your escapism,
I appreciate it.
but we should make it easy for you to escape, to not waste time.
Oh, that won't be necessary.
Hold out your hand.
Is it raining?
The rain
Vines appear.
has decreased since earlier when
That
it was a
dissipate
really
them.
heavy downpour. It is now a very steady, light drizzle. That kind of like really soul-crushing type of drizzle where it's just not just soaking to the core immediately, but just constant, steady, light
I want to go in that
rain.
fireplace.
Right. I know it's so dry.
Am I making myself into a goblin? Well, maybe once we get up there.
All right, so you all going to scout out while the rest of the party closes the distance?
So we all head up there.
So as a unit, I'm going to have one of you roll and roll for stealth. I'm taking your advantage plus your disadvantage, just be one die roll for stealth for the party. Who's rolling?
I'll do it.
No pressure.
You get my blessing, my friend.
That was so close. So you said just a straight die roll, even
Well,
if
your-
I have.
Oh,
the
no, your
blessing?
die roll plus your bonus and your blessings, but not,
Okay.
it was before you were rolling with advantage and stuff, so you're, just like you would normally roll a regular stealth, so what would you get?
Okay.
The room is
19.
silent. 19. Man, that's just terrible, gosh. All right,
Unacceptable.
nothing seems to notice you whatsoever. As you all move up towards the front, you can still hear sounds coming from inside. They sound a little bit different than the first time you were up here. I mean, not that you can really tell with goblins exactly hey, what's going on, but there's a lot, seems actually a lot more friendly, to be honest, than what you were hearing earlier in the evening. So,
The offer still stands.
up to the front, up to the
that
building you all
friendly.
creep at this point. Now you're all scouting around looking for additional ways in, I'm assuming back again. Just like before, when you scout around, all around the building, these debris piles have been dropped. If you want to make a perception check again, the party can do one perception check with advantage at this point.
That will be 19.
19. The piles of debris do not look like they were building true fortifications. It looks like they were piling debris that has been dug up and out of the earth. There's all kinds of rocks and chunks of dirt and things. Now, the ones that have been piled up around outside of the building have kind of been purposely put in place to block windows and such like that, but the rest of it looks like just kind of overflow that has blocked up a giant chunk of the street. And this is where we're going to pause for our break. And we'll be back here in about 10 minutes to see if they actually get inside of the tavern.
Party.
So sorry, Adam.
As we last left off, our heroes had approached the tavern, and the goblins seem to be partying inside, and they are attempting to scout out and figure out a way to get in and see what's going on. So, after checking out the exterior, they discovered there really doesn't appear to be another way in except through the double doors, unless they're deciding to maybe knock down a wall or spend some time maybe digging to see if they can find another way in. But outside of that, we're going to see where they go from there. So, party, what is our next course of action?
With the information that we have, whispering, mind you, with the information that we have, it seems likely that there is some type of covered entrance to one of the cellars. There needs to be an easier way to get things off of carts and brought in here rather than going up through the front doors. But we might not have that time to look, or the capabilities of searching and digging quietly. What do we think? Do we pivot?
And make a stealth check.
Oh.
Roll for the party, one person.
We're just standing here.
Oh, yeah, this is so much.
I cannot.
Anna and I aren't talking, we're not moving, we're not breathing.
Yes, that was a natural 1.
All right. So, as you all are sitting there, trying to...
Wait, hold on. He is the Reverend's blessing.
Oh, that's right.
And the blessing does...
Advantage on stealth checks.
Ooh, fantastic. Saved by the Rev.
Praise be!
Unless you roll another natural one, then it's fate coming after you. So,
27.
so that seems to be the definite marked difference between those two rolls.
You're making me a believer
So-
again. For it again.
As the door kind of creaks open, one of the goblins slides its way out and stumbles over to the edge of the railing, leans up against it, and the party's like, you're sure the goblin's staring right at you, and begins relieving itself. Not even looking anywhere but like, and then turns around and stumbles its way back inside the door, kind of pushes it open a little bit further, and back in it goes. You can see there's a bunch of drunken goblin debauchery from your angle right there, things going on. They've got one goblin that's actually strung up on the back of the chimney, and they're throwing daggers at that goblin there and laughing at the results of the throws. Now, it does look like they've been drinking for quite a while, because the aim doesn't exactly be straight on at this point. And that's what you can see from where you are.
Well, sure looks like a nice time they got going on in there. We got to get
Each
some
their own.
information.
I don't know a lot about goblins, but do you think they count their own? So if someone new showed up looking like a goblin, would they realize that he's not actually part of their pack?
I think the better question is, are they in the right headspace to be able to count right now?
Or care.
I like where you're going with this.
I'm a gambling man. I'm willing to roll the dice on this.
Does anyone have any booze on them?
I mean, we got Acre.
I might have some strong alcohol on my person. Clear grain spirits.
I may not know a lot about the culture here, but I imagine that if you're at a place where people are partying and you bring more of the party juice, they will be more receptive. It's an idea.
Bring the party juice. That will help.
Typically was the neighborly thing to do. I don't know if it works in goblin culture, but I think it's worth it.
I don't think they'll complain about it.
So are you proposing that I bust in there as part of Goblin and start distributing my my hooch to all the other goblins and try to get some information from them?
If we have no better plan.
What if you just searched? What if you just tried to locate the children? Like, like laugh, like schmooze, throw a couple daggers, like look for children. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
All right,
Reverend Goodberry, party goblin. is what you're
I'm
saying.
willing to give it. I'm willing to give it a shot. But this is the part where I remind you that I do not speak Goblin.
How big of a trench coat do you have?
No, we're not.
What if I have an idea? If you're willing to go with it.
I'll follow your lead.
All right. You got to be ready to back me up if I'm going in there.
We're ready.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Out of game. Are we ready?
I don't know if I'm ready for you guys.
say goodbye to the Reverend. He was a good character.
Is there any kind of pattern to maybe goblins coming outside and like relieving themselves to where maybe we could grab one and
I
then
was thinking.
take his identity and his name?
Just slowly take them one by one.
So,
That might take a while. The children might die. But
so it looks like fate is with you. So I rolled for your luck, and you got a nat 20. So that should have been for my attacks upon you, but we're going to go ahead and burn it up right now because that's just awesome. So at this point, mentioning the goblin, it's like, again, like some sort of divine spirit was listening to you. Door opens up, and this goblin comes stumbling out, goes over to the pole, leans up against it, and proceeds to pass completely out in the mud.
That was easy.
Well, let's just drag him off
Yeah, well-
around that corner.
Can I check and see if he has like a name tag or anything like in goblin noise?
Hello, my name is
who he is.
How can I help you today?
That way we can better assume his identity. Maybe a wallet.
So you grab the goblin and you drag him off.
Does they have a state-issued
No.
driver's license?
I'm thinking you drag him off to the side of the tavern so you're out of view as you log the goblin.
Shuffling
right?
and disheveling the trail behind.
Okay, yes, so,
With a nat 20, maybe he does carry state issued ID.
all right, you begin digging in this goblin's pockets, and you're not quite sure how you avoid all the things that you didn't want to be touching inside of this goblin's pockets, but you're like, oh, ooh, there's no state ID on the goblin whatsoever. You don't find any pictures of, Mrs. Goblin and the kids at home, anything along those lines, but apparently he was very fond of collecting eyeballs. He has a nice collection of various sized eyes, and that seemed to be his thing.
Well, I'll take the eyeball collection.
So the word for eyeball in
Dark
Dark
speak.
speak is glot.
Glot.
So that is your name now.
Glot. Glot.
It's good.
All right, well, here goes.
So, what, pray tell, are you doing to assume the size and stature of a goblin?
Well, I'm casting the spell Shapeshift. Now, I can get shorter, but not quite as short as a goblin. So I'm going to hunch over, and I'm going to take
You're going to be like the LeBron James of goblins going in there.
well, I'm going to hunch myself as much as I can and throw the cloak over me, and my face turns green. Little pointy ears pop out, gnarled teeth, yellow beady eyes. My name is Grump. I'm a goblin. How do we think that I'm doing good?
If you go in there and you say that, I'm going to kill you.
You may have to take a number.
This is the voice that I have now, and I'm a goblin.
Try not to speak at all. Period. Just laugh.
You could slur.
And a gash appears across my throat.
Thank you. That works.
No tongue.
If you need anything, make a bird call. We'll work on it. Go ahead.
All right. Give me a performance check, Reverend Goblinberries.
It's so dumb.
Did I say that me giving him some lines and some like language and dark speak might help him with his performance with the help action?
I like to think that I've, as a long-term con man, I will have at least been able to learn.
You're a con man?
And before the Reverend rolls, I go over to him and I say, I don't know what the one God's doing with you, but it's not up to me to question his plans.
I don't know what he's doing with me right now either.
Good luck, I'll give you some guidance.
All right, that's a D4, yes?
Yep.
What?
Give me a performance check there, Reverend
All right.
Dollarberry.
Say a little
So
prayer
let's,
for him.
all
Don't know what
right.
you're doing, but
No
let's
whammy,
see
no
where this
whammy.
goes.
Dead at 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
All right, so please do tell me, how do you enter the establishment? What exactly do you do, sir?
Did the goblin that we sort of passively mugged, did he have like a drink in his hand? Like a
Oh,
mug?
yeah, he had a stein. It's full of muck and nastiness at this point.
I grab his stein and I
Clean it out.
clean it magically. I pour one of my stock bottles of like clear grain alcohol into it.
Basically, a stein full of Everclear. Fantastic. Let's.
it's like high school.
If I'm going in, I might as well have a good time. All right. And I stumble in, again, trying to lower myself to, goblin height as much as possible. I am shorter than my actual person, but I may still,
Like, how tall of a goblin are you at this point?
I'm like a 4.5 foot tall goblin.
You are the LeBron James of goblins. All right, fantastic. Okay,
Yes.
so you were a pretty large goblin going in there.
Very hunched over.
Yeah, you're hunched over. Okay, so in the front doors to the establishment you walk, you can see the floor plan itself is a very humble affair. There's a large fireplace off to the left-hand side where that smell of whatever is cooking is coming from. There's a goblin kind of leaning up against the fireplace, and he's messing around with something in there at this point. The tables are a mess. There are empty casks and kegs of alcohol and bottles smashed all over the floor. It looks to have been one heck of a party going on here, and the goblins look wasted.
If anyone looks directly at me or appears to be like staring at me too much, a box appears under my feet. But I look like a goblin that is standing on the box, like any movie where Tom Cruise is in, where he's actually like standing on a box because he's really super short. Sorry, Tom Cruise.
Short kings.
I think we just lost an audience member after that. Thanks.
We're here for short kings.
I'll write an email afterwards. We're fine.
Yeah, he's like 5 foot tall. Okay,
Nothing
that's
wrong
what's
with that.
happening. If they look at me, I look like a normal sized goblin standing on a box.
Okay, so you're the Tom Cruise of goblins. All right, we've got that established. Looking about, nobody seems to be paying you any kind of attention whatsoever. The goblin that they were throwing the daggers in is no longer protesting that. He's just kind of hanging there. Looks like there's a lot of daggers that have found their mark. Again, you're looking around the room. You're guessing there's probably like 12, 15 goblins here inside. And they are, again, partying super duper hard.
I'm just walking around, swaying my flagon, like occasionally taking a nip.
At the far back of the room, you can see there is another door that looks like it leads into a different room itself. Two goblins kind of stagger that way, and then they disappear inside the room. A few moments later, you see two other goblins that you have not noticed before come out of there.
Well, I'm gonna wait to see if the coast is clear. There's no goblins going through that door, and then I'm gonna try to stumble my way through the door.
Mosey your way on over there. All right, you get over to the door. Step in, you can tell this used to be the larder, the pantry area, and you're looking around. Shelves have been emptied. The only thing that's in here is a hole in the floor with an open trap door and a ladder going down into the dark down there.
Okay, so I'm alone in here.
Nobody's stopping you, nobody's coming up, nobody's coming down.
I whisper to Devon. I found an entrance to the. Hold on a minute. I found an entrance to a cellar. There's a ladder leading down somewhere. Please advise.
What direction in the building is it towards? Can you tell?
Yeah, sorry. Was I able to figure out where I was going?
So basically what's happened is you walked right through the front doors. They just kept walking straight past the bar that sits off to your right-hand side. Straight on forward, all the way to the back is where that door is, and it's off to the far right-hand side of the building itself. So the building is roughly a square shape, and that door is up to the upper right-hand corner of that room.
Straight across the room as you enter the door, past the bar, the top right of the room from where you're standing right now.
I'll see if I can take a small group of us over there and see if we can focus on that area to possibly meet you if there's another entrance back there. Do you need assistance there?
Reverend, behind you hear this.
I turn around. There's
And
a
there are
goblin.
two goblins standing behind you, looking at you like,
As they come upon me, I take a drink of my flagon and immediately begin to spew out vomit. It smells absolutely terrible. Whoa!
give me a performance,
And I
please.
double over. It is woo, 24.
24. All right. The two goblins immediately begin laughing, and one kind of hooks an arm around you this way, the other hooks his other arm around you, and they both begin kind of marching you towards the fireplace.
Well, I don't have a choice but to follow them.
All right. As they march you over there, the other goblin is taking down the one that had the daggers.
Oh,
And they begin and they lean you over, they begin tying your arms up to the fireplace as they're sitting there.
I whisper,
Your goblin Jesus.
Vaughn's time.
What do you mean? You found him?
No, Vaughn, you I need out the heads help right now.
No! No!
I hit the door. I
As the door is busted down, I yell, lullaby, go to sleep, little goblins. I cast sleep on them.
And what is the radius of your sleep, please? I believe, let's go ahead and get our battle map going on here.
This battle's over. What are you talking about?
It is within 20 feet
Okay.
of, I center at the center of the room, so.
So the room, let's go ahead and put the Reverend up there by the back of the fireplace.
So it's a 20-foot radius, so I feel like, oh, okay, so I'm in the middle, so I'm centered on me then.
All right, let's count out 20 feet in all directions and see what that does. How far out does that radius go?
Now you know why I wanted those D8s.
I know that looks like that is going a pretty good distance around.
All right, so it's a 5d8s worth of hit points. They fall asleep and they don't get a save.
Let's go ahead and see what you got.
Woo! Oh, sorry. Oh, that's not a D8.
Do you need another?
That die ain't big enough.
Okay, that is 7, 12, 16, 19.
19. All right. So that is going to take care of the. Let's go ahead and that table, the first table there on that one, let's go ahead and knock down all three. Drop, drop, drop. Let's go to the table in the back. Knock down him on the top of the table. Keep moving your way around. Drop down 2 on the far table there. And there we go. And that has, Reverend begins to sing, and a bunch of the goblins just drop like sacks of potatoes. At this point, we have Anna, and go ahead and give me a brute force entry there. Give me a strength. Go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I did pop her a guiding touch.
Oh, tight,
Let's
tight.
do this.
Okay.
So that would drop the one off the.
Yeah, here to use them.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. The door doesn't resist. Okay. Wait. That is a 12.
12. All right. The door smashes wide open. Go ahead and push them both open there. Doesn't come flying off the hinges, but it is a dramatic entrance. And there you are. And at this point, it is initiative for the remaining critters.
My adrenaline is
I'm right
like
behind Anna, too.
11 right now.
All righty. So we are going to start with the Reverend. And Reverend, what did you get, sir?
12.
12. Damon,
19.
19. Nice. Echo,
12.
12. Anna,
14.
14. Mary,
7.
7. All right. And Vaughn,
13.
13. So we are going to start once again with Damon, who seems to be our combat leader. What's the? I don't really know what the marching order is. We'll just handle them as the initiative goes along, and they'll be able to move at that point in. So we're going to go Damon, then we've got Anna, and we're going to go with Vaughn, and then Echo, Rev, and Mary will bring up the end there. So, all right. The first action of the round is going to go over to Damon. Damon, what do you decide to do, sir?
All right. So I want to do my bonus action to dash inside. Is there a goblin close to the Reverend that's still awake?
Yes. Go ahead and put 2 goblins. Okay, reach down there. Grab 2 goblins and put them right next to the Rev.
Bonus goblin.
Bonus goblins. Okay, you know, it's good stuff, dude.
Pocket goblin.
Pocket goblin. There we go. And those 2 guys are standing both by the Reverend there.
So I want to take my bonus action to dash over to one of those goblins and then take my action, because I'm going to use Fleetfoot for my bonus, and then take my action to swipe at one of them.
And I do believe that you would get the sneak attack on that. Because right now they are focused on the Reverend.
How long do they stay sleeping?
Until they are engaged or somebody manually tries to wake them up.
Yes.
17.
17 would certainly beat the armor class on these individuals.
1 minute.
17 points of damage as well.
All right. Damon comes up behind this creature, just a shadow. And next thing you know, Damon's right there. And the knife stabs this thing back of the head, slips out and back without even just much of a sound whatsoever. And the goblin just very surprised as it's falling to the ground dead. Doesn't even realize what has happened. And what else are you doing?
That's it.
All right. Moving to the goblins. The goblin that's next to the Reverend seems very surprised about what has occurred.
I'm still a goblin.
Again, except for what I mean is that the fact that all of a sudden there's this person standing there. Well, first, somebody crashed through the doors. Ah! And then this other person ran in and stabbed his friend in the head, and he's dead. So he's sort of like, oh! So Damon, you've become his focus. He's going to move into range with Damon and attempt to stab Damon. With that, does not even come anywhere close to your own class. All right. The alcohol and the partying pretty much catches up, and he does this wicked thrust. It's like, and it just, it's like a child stabbing at you. You don't even have to like move much out of the way. You can like just kind of twist your arm. Blade goes flying by him back, and he looks. And he does take an action to disengage, and then he's going to move an additional 25 feet towards the open door to the back. Nope, to the back. Yep.
Uh-oh.
And that is his action this round. The ones behind the bar, actually, no, correct. That's the last thing that's going to happen with that particular group because I have to wait for my next rotation. So we get to move over to Anna in this case.
Great. Do I see the goblin hoofing it towards the back?
Absolutely, you do.
Great. I want to try and chase him down. What? How far can I get?
30 feet is
Yeah.
would be your movement speed. You could double it to 60, but you would not have an attack or anything.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna take that dash action and just try and interpose myself between the goblin and the door. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. Does she have enough room to squeeze past him?
She can make room.
Step over him.
A little hop.
Like difficult to
We
reach.
previously discussed, they're very short.
They're very short.
They are very. What's that?
You can't get through between that goblin and the table.
Throw the table.
All right.
Unless you somehow run around.
So
Yeah.
Flip the table.
I'll let you make athletics checks to bowl over one of the goblins in your way.
Great. Yes. Tight.
I mean, they're small creatures.
Stiff
Just
arm.
pun them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a 19.
Yeah, okay, I didn't roll anywhere near that. So that would say that you won that check. So one of the goblins there, knock it out of the way, and you can close the gap to him, but you can't take him out.
Okay, that's
Because
fine.
you kind of bowled over what dude in the way there, who is knocked prone. All right, Anna, that takes and wraps you up there. We're moving to the goblins. The ones behind the bar are going to focus on Damon, and they're going to attempt to put arrows in him with their short bows. And they miss. And the arrow.
Look at a Vegas wheel.
Damon, you don't even turn and look because you don't even expect what's happening. Also, you get and behind you and embedded in the wall are these dead-eye shots that kind of form a little Damon outline. But there's no Damon being struck currently. And we move on to Vaughn.
Watching this tomfoolery take place.
This is a cartoon.
It's become that.
Slapstick. Bugs Bunny's gonna come out.
I'll
The
take
children were
my 30 foot of movements, and I'm going to get as close to the Reverend as I possibly can. To be kind of in the center where that party was happening. And I can now see the one that you've knocked over, correct? But I can also see, how many is it behind the bar?
There are, I believe, 3 or 4 I unfortunately can't see at this point. So I'm going to trust my handy hand to let me know. There are 3.
Sweet. Whichever one looks like it is most trained on Damon after firing off the shot, I'm going to take a shot at that one with my crossbow.
Yeah, pick one. They all look wasted, and they've got sharp pointy things pointed in his general direction.
Center then.
Shoot all 3.
Okay.
Undoubtedly. Will an 18 hit?
18 will most certainly hit.
Most definitely.
Will's gonna come back with loaded dice.
Yeah. Sometimes they roll hot, sometimes they roll not.
Only 9 points of piercing damage.
All right. So the bolt goes, it hits the goblin in the head, and it kind of blinks for a split second and drops behind the bar.
Are you okay, Reverend?
I've been to better soirees.
Stay close.
Question, DM.
Yes.
Since they are drunk, do we have advantage on attacks?
No, what's ended up happening is they have disadvantage on the actions that they're doing. So, which is why none of my rolls have been really
It's like, I
awesome at
feel
this
bad.
point. Vaughn, are there any other activities that you're going to do this round?
No, thank you.
Okay.
You're still tied up.
So polite.
The goblin that is standing right next to Vaughn is going to attempt to put a hole in Vaughn where he doesn't have one currently.
Not in the market, but
So he goes to pull out his blade. Seriously? He goes to pull out his blade and he goes, and it just goes clanking across the floor. And he looks very confused for a moment. And he too turns around and starts running towards the door. So give me 30 feet of motion.
sus.
But you're still
No.
just holding one forehead.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he'll stop right there. He's looking to beat feet out of here. And that was a disengage, so that you did not get an attack of opportunity on that. So, annoying little creatures as they would be. And that would move us down to line to Echo.
I'm gonna take my 30 movement to the closest non-sleeping goblin, whichever direction that is.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make it?
There we go.
All right, and I will mark him and swing with my sword. Yeah. And I'm just going to, I mean, he's very short, but he is on top of the table, so I'll go for his ankles.
Tight.
He's on a box like Tom Cruise.
That's a 24 to hit.
That would certainly do.
Okay, then that will be 12 slashing.
12 slashing damage. All right. The Kopesh passes through the kneecaps, and the top half of the goblin that was anchored any longer to the kneecaps falls back over the bar with a squeal of surprise. You can knock him back off of the bar backwards. And there are 2 little goblin feet, knees below, just sitting there on the bar.
This needs to be animated.
I'll just kind of like push them over with him.
Are there any other actions that you'll be taking this round? Oh, he's dead.
I'm not gonna come back.
I don't think I have anything else. So if I have any more movement, I'll keep moving towards the door, but otherwise I'll stay there.
30 feet would have maxed you out on your movement.
Okay.
All right, that brings us next in line to another goblin. So from the back there, in the far corner, far back, top, up, yeah, that dude, that's still standing. He is going to disappear.
Rude.
Kind of like disappears beneath the table, and you don't see the goblin any longer.
I learned that from watching you.
He may not be there. That was unfortunately his action because the rest of his buddies are asleep at this moment. So we move next in line to Reverend Good Goblin. The Goblin Fairy.
Are my hands like do I have a hand free?
Yes, and then we got one tied up.
Okay. Then with my free hand, I reach into my coat pocket and I pull out a little bell. And the goblin that is trying to get through the door, I say, "Ding-a-ling, the doorbell's ringing, goblin friend." Cast Death Knell, so he's gonna make a wisdom save.
Oh, it's strong suit. That would be an 11.
That fails.
Fantastic. So it's necrotic damage, I believe?
Yeah, has he been damaged at all?
No, that one's not been damaged.
He's gonna take 1 damage then.
All right. You see the goblin, the bells begin ringing, and he's like, seems very scared and kind of confused at this moment. Are there any other actions that you're taking?
I'm going to look over to Anna, and you have my. Oh, you already have one.
Yeah, from before. I didn't use it, but
Then you wouldn't have it still. It would
yeah, it would be enough. Yeah.
So you have my blessing again.
All right, moving back around is another goblin. He's actually still standing.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my movement, I guess, maybe trying to free
That dude
myself.
has not,
Nice.
though. Go back. Let's go back one. That one right there. All right, he is going to charge forward and attempt to put a hole in Vaughn. Oh, God in heaven, that's the second one. All right.
I hold out my cloak.
Yep.
Ron stabs it.
All right. Vaughn, so that's twice I rolled on the fail die and succeeded on both times on the fail die, which is the time you don't succeed. Vaughn, he runs barrel straight into you. The weapon's still in its sheath. And he kind of bounces off and falls back, kind of looking very surprised at the failure of his attack, and then takes a drink out of his mug to console
You should have gone to
himself.
sleep, friend.
Last on the initiative round would be Mary on that.
So I'm in the doorway. I came in with Anna, and for a moment I was like, oh my goodness, we're doing this again. But after kind of the chicanery of everything happening, she's kind of getting in higher spirits and enjoying. So I am going to run over to the Reverend, and I'm going to say,
30 feet.
pretty good show, huh? And I'm going to try to free him.
I give you a gobble thumb.
Go ahead and place her there. She can kind of kick the chair out of the way. I'm not going to really make her roll on that. That would be sad if you.
Trip over it. I mean,
I guess I could be absolutely cruel, but I'm going to assume that you're competent enough to kind of boot a chair out of the way.
yes.
And you are now working on getting Reverend hands free. At the end of this round, it'll be done. That's your action that you're doing right now. All right, the final action is our goblin over there in the corner that's still standing against that wall. Go this way, down, that way, go, along that wall. Look down, keep going. That guy, yep. He's gonna.
See that one?
He wants to move 30 feet and stab Mary in the back.
Who's Mary?
A natural. That would be a natural 20. So, out of all the attacks that the goblins can do, they actually do. Oh wait, no, I got to roll the die again. Crap. Oh yes! Sorry, natural 20.
What? 2 nat 20s?
If you would like to double check, it's
No,
right
no.
here.
Wow.
So, all right, that was fantastic.
Macaroon.
So the goblins are actually putting up an attack. It looks like finally here. So yeah. I was just getting sad. Like, oh, my goblins are failing.
I'm glad you're having a good time with it.
So that's going to give you a 7 actually points of damage as he stabs you in the back. found that one little gap in the armor, and he's like cackling. He's like, as he got you. Although at this particular point in time, he looks kind of sad because he's got nothing else he can do and everybody else is asleep. And that brings us back to the top of the round to Damon.
You're welcome. See what I do for you.
So I want to run to the table and get on top of it. The bar table.
30 feet?
Yeah. And the goblin that's beside Anna, the one that she's not facing, I want to throw my dagger at it.
The one behind her?
Yes, the
Okay,
one that's
the one-
trying to get through the door.
Oh, the door. All right, that way. Go ahead.
Fly a tree.
That's a 9.
9. All right, the dagger flies, hits the wall right next to the goblin. At this point, all the goblins in the bar stop. And they put their hands up and drop their weapons, and they're like, looking quite nervous, especially the one that's got the dagger sitting on the wall right next to his head. They're all like, and looking at each other, they're looking at you. There's a pause. The room gets kind of silent.
Everyone, I say in Darkspeak, go in that corner, and I'll everyone who surrendered, I'll gesture to a corner and tell them to go.
Okay, which corner are you looking to send them towards?
Opposite to the room where people are trying to go.
Okay, so the far, far back corner where the one goblin disappeared?
Yeah, that one. And I'll say, I can guard them if you guys want to, save people.
Yeah, that's where they're all end up going.
Calls out, also in Darkspeak to the goblins. The children, where are they?
Very surprised, the goblins are looking back and forth at both of you, and then looking at each other, helping you drag their sleeping friends over. They begin to kind of groggily wake up as they realize that at this point they're kind of captured. They're all piled in the corner, and they're like, downstairs.
They say that with a smile.
Huh? Oh, go downstairs.
Sus.
I can watch them if you all want to go. Let me know. The Reverend can tell me if you need me.
Yes, I can.
Good.
One of the goblins says, "Rard," and another one of the goblins goes, "Rard," and the other goblin starts going, "Rard," and all of a sudden they start getting this chant going. They do this, "Rard,
Oh man.
Rard, Rard," and they begin drumming their feet with that chant. Is anybody still standing by that door over there to the downstairs?
Me. Yep, I'm still
Okay.
there.
I sort of back up over to the side of the goblin group and start yelling.
Anna, you hear this sound from down in the cellar, this and this hand reaches up and grabs part of the ladder. Another hairy hand comes up as well, and this bugbear pulls itself up and out into the cellar there, looking quite upset. It pulls out its nasty-looking flange mace, and it looks up at you like, "Roar! Roar!" And it begins initiative.
Bring it. All right.
We begin to move into the second phase here.
Oh man.
All right, so go ahead and give me your Reverend.
Oh, we're rolling. Fresh
Oh,
initiative.
yes,
Oh,
fresh initiative.
Oh my God.
Yes.
5.
5. Oh, leaderboard. Damon,
15.
15. Echo.
Nat 20, 24.
Holy
I'm in the
smoke,
opposite
nice.
room.
This is your time to shine.
I guess that answers my,
All I can do is commit war crimes over here.
Ours,
The
Lauren.
other room.
The one that's at school.
okay. So we go to Anna.
7.
10. Sorry.
10, okay. And Mary,
17.
17. Vaughn?
12.
12, all right. So goblins certainly did not beat Echo. That Echo, wow, dude, pulling that out.
He's in his own.
All right, so Echo, we're gonna go Mary,
I have an idea.
and then Damon.
This two-faced boss. Both.
I have an idea.
Which one?
You've activated my trap card.
They're all back over there.
You know?
What's that? Even the one that disappeared, they're all back over there. Yeah. So, let's see. Echo, Mary, Damon, Vaughn, and we've got Anna, and then the Reverend Goodberries will be bringing up the rear there. All right. So, Echo, you are first in the initiative order. You have all the goblins piled up there in the corner, and you have Rarg that has just come up and out of the basement there.
How hostile do the hostage goblins look? Like, are they going to attack if I leave them?
You are more than sure that they're going to be ready to stab any one of you in the back that leaves the back open. That's one of their favorite places to put blades.
Good. Then
As
Yeah.
Mary can attest.
I will reach out and take the stuffed wolf, and I'll hold it in my hand as I take my sword and slash at one of the wooden planks in the inn, exposing some earth and maybe plant life, and I will cast Binding in a 20-foot square. So theoretically, if they're all in the corner, they should get all of them. And they all have to make strength saves, or they're restrained. As plant life starts to grow from through the cracks in the roots and grab for their ankles and arms.
Okay, so what is my DC on that?
That'll be a 13.
Wow, fail. So basically, as you smash down, grab into that dirt, and invoke your ability there, from the wood itself, you begin to see these vines and branches spring out. And it's like this dead wood from the floor suddenly springs to life. It's got leaves and flowers and stuff on it. And it begins just to ensnare the goblins as they're all kind of trapped in the corner, looking quite surprised and upset. They're struggling. It's like, ah! So at this point, none of them are going to be able to contribute to the combat since they were all packed into that corner over there.
Fantastic.
That was an
Then
interesting consequence.
I will use the rest of my movement to, I have 30 feet, so I'll try and help out with Chewbacca in the top.
I think that might be the wrong setting, but I got you. All right, so forward charge 30 feet, and you have bound them up. Or is there anything else that you're doing this turn?
No, that's all I got.
So the goblins, on their turn, I think for this round, they can't do a strength check, or can they do a strength check on their turn? I think it has to wait to the next round if I'm not mistaken on that.
Can use its action to make a strength check.
Okay,
Yeah, so they could.
nope. Okay, so that little pack of goblins does absolutely nothing this round. It moves over to Mary next.
So she's kind of getting up, recovering from a blade in her back with your wonderful luck. And her pocket watch has fallen off. She's kind of holding it, and you can hear her muttering again. And at first she's trembling, but then you see her start to rise. Some kind of anger, some kind of fervor. And so she's praying to her God. And in the middle of it, she looks over to the Reverend and says, "Don't say I never did anything for you." And with that, I'm going to give the blessing of the one God, first to myself, because I can't take care of others if I cannot take care of myself. And then I will look to Echo and Anna, and they're in range, which I believe they are, and bless them as well.
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right. That pretty much wraps that up. Moves us over to Rorg himself, who is going to use his action to charge out of the door. And I believe directly to Anna. I believe she's the first one right there. All right.
Is the blessing a one-time use?
It's a concentrated.
Thank you.
And he is going to try to cleave Anna, not cleave, but crush Anna with his two-hander there.
Great.
All right. So yeah, the first one is definitely going to be a miss because it's a base 3 even with his attack bonus. All right. So second attack though is a 19, which I believe breaches your armor, which is
That does.
all
It
right.
does indeed.
And that is going to do 12 points of crush damage.
Ooh, ouch.
So he swings up with that spiked mace and just brings it down with all the force he has. It staggers you back like as it impacts the armor. You look down, you see a couple of bits of the splint there, kind of taking the brunt of it. You're like, ooh, that's not going to buff out.
You don't match anymore.
And those are his direct actions at the moment. And that moves us next to Damon.
How far away is he from me?
Looks about 20 feet.
All right, I want to run forward grab my dagger off the wall and take it and slice him in any open on his back.
All right. If you do an acrobatics check and succeed super well, I'll let you dive through the door to get behind him.
Please.
If you're looking to get to his backside, that's about the only way it's going to happen.
Nope, that's an 8.
That's an 8. Ooh. That didn't go quite as well as you were planning. So Damon comes charging down, snags the dagger out of the wall, jumps up and over, and you can see just this amazing move as Damon stretches his body out. Blades are up in the air. He's just kind of sliding by, and unfortunately that wall is just not over far enough where he thought he was heading, and drops down right next to him. Go ahead and give me Dex.
Like a saving throw?
Yeah, like a Dex saving throw.
23.
That does not knock you prone, though. You hit the ground, you're right back up like, I'm all right, I got this.
No insult.
Unfortunately, that does put you directly next to him, stay next to him, and does take out your attack for the round, unfortunately.
Would I be able to still use my bonus action?
I'm going to probably say no at this point because of what you were looking to do in the complexity and the recovery. But again, you're not knocked prone at this point, so that's unfortunately going to burn that round, it looks like, and that's going to move us to the goblins. So the next set's going to try to just hang out. Moving to Vaughn.
I just saw this heavy hit coming on. I'm going to rush over. Can I get within 30? Can I get within melee of this bugbear?
I'm not sure if there's an open space next to the bugbear. Okay, so if he slips in there.
So blessed.
All right.
Hashtag blessed.
So,
It's fine. I didn't even need those 12 hit points.
As Vaughn is rushing over there, I doubt you'd be able to see it, but he's pulling out his rapier, kind of letting it slice his hand as he's going, and it's coming in straight over there, and I'm going to make my attack at this large bugbear. Is it being flanked currently? Because we're all up in its business.
I would definitely say he's flanked.
Yes, great.
Just checking.
Steady.
No reason.
With 17?
17 will make contact.
Awesome. It's going to be 4 points of piercing damage. And the same thing that I described earlier, you all will notice that it looks like the blade itself is like almost like the crack, rusted across some of the cracks, a little bit of a glimmer to this, and it takes an additional just 1 point of fire damage.
So 5. All right. A little bit of singeing going on there at the point of impact, and more than anything else, he seems quite annoyed by what you've done. And that moves. Are there any other actions that you're committing this round?
No.
All right. One more group of goblins. Does nothing. Moving on to Anna. It is now your turn.
Great, okay. See her kind of like shake it off a little bit, and then a shimmer settles over her armor, and I'm casting the armor of the one god to give me a +2 to my AC.
That's unfortunate for me.
And then I'm going to, since we're flanking, I'm gonna go ahead and hit him, and I'm gonna use my inspiration.
And you stowed up.
What? Yeah. Oof. Oof. Yeah. Yep. I rolled 2 9s. So that brings me to a total of 13 of 12. 12?
12 to hit.
Yeah, 12 to hit.
Unfortunately. All right. So you swing your maul around, and as you bring it over, he actually kind of turns into it and puffs his chest up. And you smack it, and the maul kind of bounces back off of it. And he's like,
Just like that for me. All right. Yep.
And are there any other actions you're taking this round?
No. That's
All
it.
right.
That's what I'm doing.
I roll for regret.
I roll for regret.
Where's the temporal bag?
All right. So, unfortunately, it looks like we have reached that time for the evening. So I guess you'll have to tune in next week to see how this goes. We have 2 minutes? Oh my goodness, we have 10 minutes. But I'm still cutting it right there.
Or something, Will?
Sorry. That is where we are going to wrap things up this evening. I apologize. I would definitely love a good cliffhanger, and hopefully you do as well. We definitely thank you all for joining us this evening, and we appreciate your support, as I said before. And we do hope to see you back here next week again at 7 p.m. And definitely join us on the Discord and let us know how you think we're doing on the show. Thank you all so very much, and you have a very wonderful evening.
Bye. Bye.